Greetings.
What up? What up?
Welcome.
What up? What up?
Welcome, everybody. It is your boy Easy.
It's your boy Ryan.
And you're listening, watching, viewing, ingesting, intaking, accepting,
Gobbling.
goblet, pouring, consuming,
Snuffling in.
Consuming, Turtle Soup, the internet, nay, the world's only community-supported podcast, YouTube channel conglomeration dedicated to the ongoing journey of the TMNT, all the way from the beginning.
This looks like coffee, but it's the soup.
That's all it is. We partnered with Starbucks now. You could get turtle soup there. Just go pick your episode.
Green, Yep. Man, if this shit had like TCRI across the front, that'd be sick.
That'd be so good. But then you have to be thinking about what animal you touched last, which is probably a cat.
A cat.
Yeah.
I'd be cool with being a cat hybrid.
Sure.
Like a what's his dick? From I shouldn't have said that.
That's how you remember how people look.
What's his oh well M said in the chat, cat lady from channel 6.
Yeah.
I actually meant and I should know this, but the guy from 2012, the comic, the IDW comic, the cat.
Oh, Old Hob.
Old Hob. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I could. Well, which cat did I touch last? Luna. So I'd be like a black cat.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again,
more about cats later.
But all the way until the All-American Rejects come and play my backyard, and I tell them to move along because that's really the only song I like by theirs.
Play a bunch of backyard shows, and they were talking shit about Coachella or something. I'm about that.
Oh yeah, no, me too. I just did it because
I'm about that.
I ran out there. I was like, oh snap, I forgot. I got to do the until. I was like, you got any untils in you? And she thought about it for a second. She's like, until, and she dropped that. But then I added the move along part because it's kind of funny.
Move along.
But I like that song, and I like that record. I think for the most part, but
yeah, man,
I don't hate them. But you know who else I don't hate? I don't hate YouTube. I love YouTube.
Oh,
YouTube is fantastic.
Yeah. YouTube's great.
YouTube is life. And we are here on YouTube. So if you're here, thank you for watching and joining us. And if you're just listening, please come over and join us. We're having a lot of fun. And chat's blowing up. Super excited about that. We're going to talk about y'all in a second. But we want to just encourage everyone to like and subscribe. I know you hear it all the time. Really helps us out a lot and boost our confidence and other things. And
we are 3 subscribers short of 100. You're 500.
500. Yeah. Just three. If you got 3 friends that like turtles or just dudes, or
you can make the difference.
Yeah, you can. We're gonna talk about something that people like. We have a wide array of topics. But yeah, we can get those 3 up, and then we'll just keep doing what we're doing. But the thing that keeps us doing what we're doing is our wonderful patrons over at Patreon, and they are the most patient and reliable people that you and I have ever encountered in our lives. And 2 of those wonderful people are Robbie James and Brian Bales. So guys, thank you so much for your contributions and executive producing this episode, I guess, because I've heard some other things call it that. So I was like, I can do that. And excuse me, but thank you guys so much.
If you're a patron, you can come to my house and just like tell me what to do on the show. I think
like literally right there. Yeah.
Depending on how long you've been a patron, you can just roll up and be like, I've given you money. Like I need you to try to use the word demonstrate as many times as possible next episode. I'd be like, I'm in. Like,
I forgot about demonstrate.
I'd be like, yes, sir.
That's so good. But yeah, so they are our executive producers for this episode.
Yeah, man.
And if you want to do that, you can go over to patreon.com. Turtle Soup's Dumb and Making a Podcast, and you could throw some pennies our way and keep us from saying clang. But so and with that out of the way, Ryan, where are we at in the journey today?
We are continuing on our enjoyable stroll through the 4th volume of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, back with Mirage again. We're going to be in April of 2002 with a timely reference in this issue that I thought was very interesting for its time.
I hope it's the thing I think. I hope it's what I'm thinking.
It probably is the thing you're thinking. But I remember being like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into that, but yeah, that's what we're doing. We're taking a stroll through this black and white kind of revival of Mirage, and or this issue of the comic is extra large. It's a long
Hmm.
issue.
Yeah.
They had
Which
a
our
lot of room to
listeners are
stretch
used
out.
to.
So I'm getting used to, or I'm looking forward to getting into it with you guys. I think there's a lot to talk about with the art and stuff. Pretty cool issue.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, I know it's been a minute, and I can give you some
Yeah,
reasons why in a little bit, but I want to get your stuff first. So how you been?
I've been good. I did let's see. I did want to shout out how great the chat is
Oh, do you want to
tonight.
do that
It's
first? Let's
really
do
great.
that.
I know it's been a while since we've been back, but Francisco's here, Michael McDonald's, longtime friend of the show, M. Wilson, of course, John Clemens just came around, and a first time, long time listener, first time live stream attendee, Zachary
Ooh,
Vargas is here,
ooh, welcome.
um, up to date and going back on that journey of that 1.5 speed
Ooh,
Francisco
ooh.
style. Yeah, and they did remind us that it is M reminded me that it's the 12-year anniversary of the Denny's Grand Slam.
Oh,
Um, the show, you know what I'm talking
yeah,
about?
yeah,
What the fuck is up, Denny's? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's
Oh yeah.
yeah,
No, that's
12
classic.
years.
That's wild. It didn't
Um,
feel like that was. Well, I guess it became a meme probably like sooner or not as. It's not a 12-year-old meme, is it? It's just that
no,
show happened
no,
12
I,
years
I
ago.
think I think that might have only really surfaced on Vine,
Yeah,
maybe like or a little later. But it's brilliant. I
yeah.
like the idea that for some period of time there was only one person in possession of the Denny's Grand Slam like footage,
Oh yeah,
like, and
that's
then
wild.
they just somehow put it on the internet, and now we all have it, which is
Yeah,
it's a human that's a one for the humanities.
oh yeah,
Um,
it's a uniquely human
but
experience.
yeah, for me, you've had a lot more going on than me.
Oh yeah.
I really two things. I think I did I talk about my shed last episode? How I got a
I know you
shed?
talked to me about it. I don't know if we
Yeah, I
got
got a big
into
ass
the.
10 by 15 shed that I'm currently working on making my ultimate place to work and stuff.
Hmm.
I ran power all through it. Now I don't have power connected to it from the house. Still got
Yeah.
to do that. But I wired it all up
Okay.
with all the outlets and switches and light stuff and everything like that. So it's just a matter of hooking up and it'll be live. I'm excited about that.
That's awesome.
We adopted a new
Oh.
kitty
Oh
from
yeah.
Eric and Shannon's Catnip Cafe and
That's true.
the cat rescue there. Her name is Pickles and she's great.
Oh
The
yeah.
two cats have been a lot better. So Luna is our first cat, and we raised her from a kitten. So she's
Hmm.
had full run of this house the entire
Right.
time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And Pickles showed up, and I was like, all right. So I was like, first thing I'm gonna do is put the crate on top of the table, and I'm gonna let Luna come up even with the crate closed. That way, there's
Hmm.
no fights,
Yeah.
and just see what's going on.
Sure.
Well, she immediately started growling and hissing and all this stuff, and Pickles was kind of like, bro, like you're doing too much. Like Pickles just like in that thing, like okay.
Yeah.
But enough of that crap once I got her out of there,
Mm.
and she started hissing back because I
Oh,
mean she's
okay.
like, I'm not, like
Yeah.
Pickles ain't no bitch. Like I'm not just gonna sit
Right.
here. Um, so she is a really sweet cat. It's so funny how cats are different.
Oh yeah.
So she still doesn't like to be picked up.
Okay.
I picked her up once. And I figure picking up is a thing I need to earn. You know, when you're rehousing a
Yeah.
cat, you got to earn it.
Yeah.
But there was this one time where I was going to bed, and long story short, she was hiding underneath my lazy boy. Like I
Yeah.
have this. It's not like a brand name lazy boy, but it's like a very large leather seat that kind of rocks, right?
Hmm.
And when Luna was a kitten, she used to get under there,
Okay.
and she was like, I mean, the size of your palm of your hand.
Yeah.
So me and August kind of created a protocol where we had to check where if she was under there before you could sit in the chair.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And if we
Because
ever saw her under it, because there's a lot of wood and gears and springs and
yeah.
stuff. And the thing is, we'd always put something really annoying in the chair, like a guitar or like, something to basically be a signal of like, don't sit there.
Right,
because
right.
the cat's under there, and before you could sit down, you had to like visually go under and look for her and be like, okay, she's not. Move the
Mhm.
guitar and you can sit down. It's so funny because Pickles, while being mostly full grown,
Yeah.
she's not as old as Luna's 3 years old, but her little skinny ass 100% could fit under there. Luna's
Oh,
hasn't gone in there forever.
yeah.
So we had to go back. It was so funny how August is like, she's under the chair. And I'm in the chair. And I'm like, oh shit. So like I had to like slowly get up. And then we went right back to like putting the guitar in the chair.
Right. Oh,
And
that's
him and I were
cute.
both laughing because we're like, dude, it's like from like 3 years ago. We still
Yeah.
remember the protocol of like
Mm.
you put the guitar or drape a jacket across it or put a bunch of books in it or whatever had to be done. So there'd be a reminder. And of course you have to tell the rest of the family if you see something annoying in the chair, it's not there for no reason. It's there because whatever, Pickles is under there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can see it totally. It's really washed out. There's a
Oh, I'm
scrouch
sorry. Oh, I can. Yes.
at the
Like,
bottom. Yeah. That was from Pickles. So
jeez.
I decided because she has hung out under there for too long, I thought, like just hiding from Luna. And Luna was just like outside, like all the time.
Yeah.
That I made sure she was out and I put Luna away and I flipped the chair over on its
Mhm.
side and was kind of like, you can't hide forever.
Right.
Like
Yeah. No.
we have to start this process. And it was good, but she was out there for a whole day and there were a lot of, not fights, but a lot of showdowns and stuff. So the way I got scratched was I was kind of like, okay, I want to go to bed, but Pickles has been like up, like on like head on a swivel mode like all day.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna put it back down and
Okay.
make it where she can go under there at night if she wants to sleep. Or I felt kind of bad, like is
Yeah.
she gonna have a place to relax? So I put it down, but I wanted to show her it was down. So I tried to pick her up to be like,
Yeah.
oh look, and take her to it. Look, you
Yeah.
can go under. And she got me real
Woo.
bad. I was like,
Woo.
oh god. Um, it was right before bed, of course, so it's like bleeding like crazy. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
I'm like in the bedroom trying to like dab it up with like an old like towel and stuff. And Alicia's like, what happened to you? And I'm like, Pickles happened.
Pickles happen.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but they've been good. They've been
Oh, that's
coexisting
good.
now, so it's pretty cool. Like there's still a hiss here and there, but like
It'll go away.
in general, they just kind of stay apart from each other right now.
Yeah.
And one thing she does though is she sheds.
Oh, does she?
Holy shit, dude!
Oh,
I guess Luna just doesn't. Doesn't as much.
yeah.
But you'll see Pickles literally in the right light. She'll be like scratching by their head or something like that, and you'll see like fluff balls floating off of her
Yeah.
and like floating across the room and like landing on a table. Like you
That's
can
yeah.
literally watch it happen. So
Yeah.
yeah, we've had to bust out the lint rollers so that
Oh,
like
oh yeah.
she likes to sit on Alicia's chair
Mhm.
in her office during the day or during at night, and she's got to like unfur it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Whenever she
absolutely.
sits down.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no. Besides the flying dander in the house and
Yeah.
whatever, she's been doing good.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yep, no, she's been really sweet. I like she does a thing where she like headbutts into a pet. I
Oh,
really
I love
appreciate
that.
that.
Oh, I love
She
that.
like headbutts in.
Yep.
Um,
Does she
but
jump? Because we call that like a dolphin jump for some reason. I don't know where we started calling that, but it's like a
oh yeah,
like
where they'll like jump up to get the pet.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know
August
why
is great at
I
getting
called it that.
those. I'm not so
Oh,
good at getting the dolphin jump, but
yeah.
August has gotten it.
Yeah, I can get it out
Um,
of Fern quite often. And it is delightful.
it's
But
satisfying. I don't know if Pickles is going to ever be much of a lap cat or whatever. She seems more independent, but yeah, we'll see.
yeah, their whole personalities change like once they get
Yeah,
settled in. And
yeah, you
they
never know.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
she's
I heard
definitely still in the
yeah, I
getting
heard
to know things phase.
I heard someone say that like they just view you as another cat essentially. Like
Oh,
they don't
interesting.
yeah, they don't necessarily see you as a human. I don't know the science behind any of that. I just was thinking about that. And I'm
Interesting.
like, okay. And then yeah, they all of them are kind of like because we have five. So Pippin,
Yeah, you got a
yeah,
lot of cats.
it's too many. But Pippin's the newest, and he's just super young, and so he's annoying everybody. But Cheeto is the next youngest, I think, and Cheeto will
Hmm.
fight with him. And the way you know that they're, though, I learned this from TikTok. Thank you. That if their bellies are showed, if they're showing each other's bellies, like or whatever, they're playing. If they're not, that's
Oh,
when they're
got it.
fighting.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, because we could never tell because it sounded like they were dying. But then
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'd go run in to break it up, and you hear like all kinds of commotion, and I go in there, and then they're spooning, and Cheeto's like licking the back of his head. I was like, what is this? What am I walking into? Yeah.
That's the last thing I'll say about Pickles, all these stuff in this episode. It was kind of funny. Was at one point, there was like a tense piece. Like, Luna was on Alicia's desk,
Yeah.
kind of aimed toward where Pickles was, and Pickles was at our kitchen bar, like on a bar stool underneath it.
Okay.
And they were kind of looking at each other for a while. I was like, all right, we'll go out the day. Whatever. I notice I go to check it back out again, and Luna's still staring there. But Pickles has turned herself completely opposite Luna.
Yeah.
Like with her facing the corner underneath the bar. Like almost like she was like she had done something bad. She got put in the corner. She's like just aimed that way. And she's like loafed up, aimed that way.
Yeah.
And I was like, number one, that's just weird. Like, why would you not give cats usually like to have a view?
Oh, yeah.
And she's under this bar in the corner of the wall, like looking.
Yeah.
But then I thought, maybe it's kind of cool because it's like that must be some sign that she's getting more comfortable, that she doesn't have to be on watch as much, like that, like Luna won't get her.
Yeah,
because she wouldn't turn her back like that and just like loaf up if she thought Luna was a threat. So anyway,
absolutely not.
The last thing that I got to say, I think, is that I just finished a book that Alicia had been recommending to me for a long time. It's called Say Nothing by Patrick Rodden Keefe.
Okay.
And it's about the IRA and the troubles in Northern Ireland and stuff.
Yeah.
And it is a fantastic book. If you like audiobooks, I highly recommend it as an audiobook because the narrator is Irish and the author is Irish.
Yeah.
And it really gets you in. And the way that it's all kind of set up is it all revolves around a woman, this widow, Jean McConnell, who was a widowed mother of 10 in the Devon Flats in like 1970, 1972, which is like the bloodiest time of the Troubles. Like it is like open warfare in the streets between the British soldiers and the IRA. It's like bombings every night, gunshots every night, sniping missions, shit like that. She got disappeared by the IRA, like picked up and never found again.
Dang.
And throughout the course of this book, it goes all into the Troubles, all about the people involved. But it always kind of relates back to this disappearance.
Okay.
And it's very conversational almost. Like that's what makes it, listening to it as an audiobook, really, really intriguing. And you kind of can't stop listening to it. Yeah. It sounds like an Irish guy who knew everybody involved in the IRA and the Troubles, telling you these little short stories about different people, what they did, and stuff like that. And it's very enthralling. And it's the Troubles and like everything in Northern Ireland was something that I knew about, but I didn't ever really do a big deep dive on. But it's very cool to hear it. And I know there's a show on Hulu. They made a show out of it too, which I want to watch. But Say Nothing by Patrick Rodden Keefe. If, like I said, if you're an audiobook fan, you won't be disappointed. It's riveting.
Oh, okay. Did you listen to the hardcover or the softcover?
I listened to the hardcover.
Yeah, that's the way I was.
And because I knew you'd judge me if I listened to the.
I absolutely would. Absolutely would.
It did make me ask a question to myself, though, about like what could I have done what they did?
Yeah.
Like if it was about trying to preserve your freedom, trying to liberate your people, could I have like carried a gun for the IRA? Could I have done some of the stuff that they did?
Yeah.
And it's funny that based on listening to the book, the answer is not an automatic no.
Right, exactly.
Which I think like does it kind of tells you that the author did a good job of like putting you in there and being like, yeah, like probably. I mean, I don't know if I'd be a soldier for the IRA, but I could tell you that it's not an automatic no because while they did awful things,
right,
the the spirit of what they were fighting for, is understandable in a lot of ways. So
Yeah.
very interesting, very interesting. But that's been me.
Oh, well, yeah, I've had a eventful couple of weeks. Let's see. So first off, longtime friend of ours and
Yeah,
friend of the show, G Twice, passed away. So that was
yeah. No,
not
it was really
fun.
sad. No,
And yeah, Father Preston and I had been trying to make our way out there and to see him because he was a couple towns over with his brother, and just myriad of things got in the way, and but finally,
I knew at one point Preston was sick, and
yeah,
he was kind of telling me about that. It's like if a person is terminal, they only have so much long left. Do you want to be the typhoid Mary?
that's what I told him.
Effectively,
I
when
was
they
like,
have
"Do you
like
want to be
no
the
immune
one?"
system,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's a rough go. I understand that.
yeah. And so we ended up going on May the 4th, and we got there, and he was. It's one of those things that you don't want to see it because it's not like pretty, but like I'm also a
No,
person that doesn't need to be in situations where emotions are high because I do the things that are not. I don't know, maybe I am, but so I walk in, he's in the bed, and he's not he's Jason, his brother, was telling me that he's responsive, but he's in and out, and so it's
yeah,
just and he was in bad shape. So I go in and I'm like, hey man, and I knew Preston's very he's not he can be timid, but he's always scared that he's not going to say the right thing, or he's
yeah.
worried about being, and I totally get that. And so that's
Oh,
why me and
absolutely.
him went together, because I knew he wanted to go too, and there was a whole
Yeah,
thing with that. But so I Preston's there with me, but I'm the one, I blabbermouth, I just start saying stuff. So I go in and I say, hey man, you're they got your hair looking good, and I see you lost some weight. You got to tell me your secret, man. And his face did like a jerk that he hadn't been
uh
making,
huh.
and I was like, okay,
Oh,
I
okay. It's
think he
like yeah,
got it.
like
I think he was
yeah, yeah.
laughing.
Oh, I'm sure he would.
And
Yeah.
so then I saw his ankles, and his ankles were swollen, and I started cracking up. I was like, Greg, you got to do something about them ankles, man. That's not a good look. And because my sister's ankles swell when she's pregnant and stuff, so I was like, dude,
Yeah.
my sister did this when she's I'm just running all kinds of just
Oh,
jokes
yeah,
nonstop.
yeah.
And the good thing is Jason and his wife, who are caretakers of him, were cracking up, so that made me feel good. Well, then we're sitting there, we're just talking for like, we were there maybe for like 5-10 minutes, and then the nurse comes in, says that she's got to administer some medication and stuff, but they do it
Yeah.
rectally. And she goes, yeah, it's the quickest way to absorb things. And I go, yeah, it's the only way I learn. And she was like, everyone was cracking up, and I'm like, I'm sorry, it's just I can't help it.
It's just in me. It's
It's
in
in
me.
me. I gotta say it. It's the only way I learned. And so that was cool. So I go out and I'm talking to his mom and dad, who are sitting out there, and then it wasn't too much longer after that he when they were rolling him over, that's when he went. And so yeah, that was weird. But
Yeah.
I'd never been to Jason's house before, and and so I was kind of like not sure what to do. So I'm like hugging him and his wife, and I'm like, we're all emotional and stuff. And I was like, you have
Yeah.
a wonderful house. I'm saying weird shit. I was like, I don't know what to do.
At first, when you said, "Oh, I'd never been to Jason's house," and you went out of frame, I thought you were gonna grab some shit you stole from
Oh,
there.
stole.
You
Oh
know what
yeah,
I mean?
like, so I
I've
got
never been to his
this.
house, but like,
Check this.
he's got this vase, man, that
Right.
looks awesome. So I
Yeah.
took it.
Oh.
Like,
I wish I would have.
yeah,
That'd been so good. But yeah, no. So he's out. He's gone, and that was
yeah.
weird. And
No, that was rough.
yeah,
That day I was working on a lot of stuff around the house, and I just hadn't got on Facebook at all.
yeah,
Or anything, any messenger, anything. And so Shane messaged me, but it was like almost dinner time by the time like I saw it.
yeah.
And Shane's like, "Oh, I just saw that Greg passed this." Like, he said this morning, because
Mm,
they obviously hadn't put
sure.
out the news till the next day.
Yeah,
And I sure being like, "Oh shit!" I feel like I should have like kind of like been on the internet to know, or
right,
whatever, to
right.
check in
Yeah,
with everybody, because Greg and I weren't super close, but like anytime I was around him, it was a pleasure. I mean, obviously he was he was just one of us. Like,
Oh yeah.
like he was 100% like us, and it's one of those things that you like feel a kinship for. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And I
Yeah.
knew that obviously it meant a lot to you guys in Plant City and in your lives.
Yeah.
And how many lives he managed to touch in his life is pretty wild.
Hmm.
I did read the I guess that coworker of his wrote
Mm.
she has a blog and she wrote like a 2-part interview, and I had read that before he passed
Yeah.
um and stuff. But no, I mean he was a great guy, and
Hmm.
it
Yeah.
it just really sucks. I mean like
It does.
it's tough, like, because you know
Yeah.
you don't want to say like why couldn't it have been somebody else, you
Hmm.
know, because that's
Yeah.
just
I have a
shitty.
list of people it should have been,
Yeah,
but you
yeah, and
know.
I'm sure Greg didn't think that way because he was
No.
better than us. But
Yeah. He was.
you do think sometimes about, like, wow, like those scales are really imbalanced, because to take
Oh yeah.
him, so young, he had been battling cancer for 7 years, eight
Yep.
years already,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. But yeah, my heart goes out to his family and obviously all of you guys,
Yeah.
and he was a great guy, and I still never forget when we were jamming with him at your house,
Hmm.
like covering country songs, and he was like playing the bass, and then he was singing and stuff like that. It was like it was so funny,
Oh yeah.
and he was great.
Yeah, I think we were trying to do because him and I had a country project called Old Hickory and the Jackson Line, and we
Yeah,
had wrote some country songs and we were trying to do it. And the dude could rap, like he could rap, but he could not
yeah,
sing yet. Like he could carry a tune, he just could not
yeah,
place
but like
melody.
it was his rhythm.
Yeah,
I
yeah, it
remember it was
was
his rhythm. We kept like restarting, and I remember you being like, "God damn it, Greg!
right. Like how did we?
like,
This has been perfect
how
every
how
other time.
can you rap on time but not sing on time? Like,
Yeah,
what is
yeah.
that? You know?"
So yeah, it's been rough because he was always somebody that he was the type of person that if only he showed up at a thing, it was worth it. Like it made it
Yeah,
feel so good. And it's like, oh, Greg's here, cool, okay, I
yeah,
can
yeah. I'm good.
totally perform.
Yeah,
There's nothing else I need to do.
yeah.
So yeah, and but he's gonna have his memorial service at Catnip, which he asked to do, and I'm hoping.
I
So I talked.
yeah.
I, yeah, I talked to his brother about some stuff. I don't know for certain if they're fulfilling all of his wishes, but one of his last wishes, and I hope that he can make an appearance on the show again, post mortem, is if is that when he wanted to be cremated, and he wanted to be put into a salt shaker that said Gregano instead of oregano. And so I'm like, I hope they do that because
That
I'm
is like the
totally
most Greg thing that ever
oh,
happened. Yeah,
absolutely. So
like
yeah,
yeah, like I told you, obviously I'm down for whatever
yeah.
that day is or whatever it is. I'm there to back up whatever you're doing. So just let me know,
I
and
will.
I'm there.
So then the other thing that happened, which also is reasons why it's just been a lot that we haven't been able to get together. But
Oh my God, yeah.
so last Friday morning, I woke up to a crash in my house, which was or the sound of a crash, and it turned out my wife her blood pressure dropped and she passed out in the bathroom, and that was not fun. And so I had to deal with that, and
She was
yeah,
telling me all about that at Catnip, and I was
yeah,
just like,
yeah,
and it's
it
one of
was
those things.
insane.
The way so not to interrupt you because you're going to tell the more in depth story, but the way that it was like this, like, and Shannon's always so just like chill about everything. Like it feels like she will start up like, oh yeah, I stubbed my toe today, and yeah, I collapsed in the middle of the night last night, like
Right?
with the same intro.
Yeah, yeah,
So we're in the cat cafe, and there's people in there checking out
yeah.
the cats, and we leave. She goes, well, I didn't want to say that I didn't want to say this in there. And I was like, oh, you're gonna talk shit or something? That's kind of
Yeah.
funny. Like, what's going on? She goes, yeah, I didn't really want to say that in there in front of everybody, but yeah, so like I collapsed the other night and like passed out, and then I had to go to the emergency room, and like me and Alicia are like, what? Like because it was just so funny. It's almost like, I mean, I
Yeah.
wouldn't tell them this, but
Right.
like
But I would
I
tell
had a
y'all,
major medical event, and I'm like, what? Like what?
you get the inside
Yeah.
scoop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. So I woke up and she's not like she's in the in where the sink is in the tub, and she's like her blinking and not responsive, and I'm like slapping her, and I'm like, hey, wake up. Like, get up. And it was not
How
so
terrifying
so
is that?
no, oh
Jesus.
yeah. I mean, and so and of all times to do it in the morning, like that's the first thing I had to deal with in the morning. It was really inconsiderate. So I got her because she's dead weight. She's not responding. So I'm like, I get her, got her in on like not on the toilet, but like over it because that's the only thing that was in the way.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, she's cold to the touch. Like she's not responding. I need to go call 911. So I do, and they're like, I'm talking to him, and then all of a sudden, like, because I had to go to the other room to get the phone, I come back and I hear no, and I was like, oh no, she's good. All right, we can't afford this. All right, bye.
She don't need the ambulance.
She don't need
No,
the
I don't
ambulance.
need that. I'm
So
good.
I was like, no.
Yeah.
So eventually we got her to the hospital, and she was fine. But yeah, it was just her blood pressure dropped, and so yeah, so that's been fun. So I've been like constantly like on high alert. Like if I hear a noise or anything, I'm like terrified.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
My God. Yeah. And then like not long after Greg and all this, you're just like, what the hell's happening to me? And then
Right.
like,
Yeah.
she did confide in me her diet for the day, which I admonished her for right in person. And I said, she's like, yeah, and I don't know. I mean, they say a lot of things could have happened. It could have been like a gallbladder attack. It could have been a lot of things. But like I hadn't eaten anything until dinner at 10 o'clock, and then I just had a boba tea.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all day? And she's like, all day, yeah. I go, well,
that's probably.
This is something like I was like, lady, I was like, honey, take care of yourself, dude. Like holy shit. Like,
well,
because like I'm like, let me tell you something. If I didn't have anything but a boba tea and then ate some weird ass shit at 10 o'clock at night and then went to sleep, yeah, man, your boy be unresponsive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be out.
I was about to say, you're an authority on malnutrition and eating weird stuff and having weird stuff happen.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
like,
no
there's
shit.
at
Like
least like 3 stories of that.
Yeah. You need to keep it hydrated, lady, and like whatever. But yeah, I told her straight up, I said, look, I don't even know what that was, except I did share a story about my when my parents were kind of younger and I was a teenager, they would still go to Ybor with some of their like college friends and different things like that. And but like they're like older, and they went out there with this friend of theirs, this woman that my mom was going to. So my mom made it as high as she could in the education system without having a degree that would let her be a principal.
Oh, okay.
So her and a bunch of teachers who were already in like kind of leadership positions, but like couldn't make the step.
Yeah.
All went back to St. Leo and got their whatever master's degree they needed to be an administrator.
Mm-hmm.
So it was her and a bunch of these other teachers. And this one, they went out to Ybor or whatever, and she was hanging out, and she didn't always smoke cigarettes, but every once in a while when she drank, she'd like bum a cigarette off somebody.
Sure.
And they're waiting to get into this other bar, and she took one puff of that cigarette, eyes rolled back in her head, full on collapse on 7th Avenue, unresponsive, like drop dead. Okay.
Jeez.
So they're freaking out. But what's kind of nice is because like everyone kind of gets a little too much in Ybor, there's just like paramedics that just walk around Ybor City just looking for
something to do.
The girl who didn't drink anything and is now like laying dead on the street. They need to like resuscitate and figure out, it's everybody. Like not just women. But like, dudes that get sun drunk and they're like plop. And it's like, oh, come back up. Yeah. So the guy ran over and got her back going and basically went over her whole thing, and she hadn't eaten a lot, and she had drank, and she whatever. And the paramedic went into a long explanation of like what he basically called like a perfect storm. He's like, your body can handle a lot, but if you push the right buttons all at once, like it resets you basically.
Yeah.
And he said, he's like, you hadn't eaten, you'd been drinking, you were dehydrated, you were tired from a long day of work, it was hot, and then you had that puff. Yeah. Just that one puff off a cigarette. It's like just that one puff. It hit like the last button, and you reset. Like your body goes, nope, I'm out.
Yeah.
And I was telling Shannon that, and I was like, yeah, sometimes what's scary is you don't know what it is.
Right.
Like, like how many buttons are pressed, and is there one, like, basically you don't know if you're one straw away from breaking the camel's back. You just don't know it, which is why I'm always really freaky about, like, I got to have my water. I've got to eat at a regular time. I really don't want to skip a meal because, like, you never know.
Right.
whether it could trigger a migraine or you could pass out or you
Mhm.
don't know. So you just gotta watch out. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah. Yeah, no, and
I'm glad she didn't get injured in the fall. Like that
yeah,
was
she's got
like
a nasty bruise on her arm, but that's about it. Yeah.
she showed me that, but I mean like she
The
could have
head
cracked her head
she
open.
could
She
have.
could have broken an
Yeah.
arm. She could have. I mean, there's all kinds of things she could have done. When you
Yeah.
fall dead weight into a porcelain tub, like
Yeah.
it's not like in the movies. You know, all of a sudden
Oh
you're
yeah,
like, I'm
no.
fine. It's like, oh no, you could have like a compound fracture from that,
Oh yeah.
and you're recovering from whatever happened to you. You know,
Right.
blood pressure wise or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah. So it's been a
I'm glad
minute
she's doing
and
good, but I tell you that's a 1-2 combo. Man, I
mhm.
tell you what.
Oh yeah. I was like, man,
Mm.
it's going to be 2 funerals in a podcast pretty soon. So you know, but no. So anyway, so that's what's been up with us. So thank you guys for your patience and you know, we
Yeah,
appreciate y'all being
yeah.
here and showing out.
Oh yeah.
The other thing, we'll this is just touching base with everybody.
Mm.
We're probably going to be switching around the night that we do the show potentially.
Yes.
Mostly
Yes.
because we have an opportunity to start practicing at a different building for the bands that we do and stuff, and that's going to have to cause some rearranging of schedules. So we'll keep
Thursday
you posted on
night
that.
is probably it's definitely going to move off of Thursday night. And
Yeah, that's what
stuff.
we're thinking.
We're just trying to kind of
yeah.
figure out like what day would be best. Nick Douglas in chat, Paul Calicote in chat showing up. That's nice.
Oh yeah.
What up, Nick?
Oh, we're about to read Paul's email. If he's still here. Still.
Oh
in the,
yeah, yeah.
in the
He
bathroom
says
break.
he had to he's at work. He had to sneak into the bathroom to get a shot of soup off the back of the toilet
Oh,
because I need.
oh my lord! Oh,
So when you catch back up with this, Paul, we're gonna read your email.
yeah.
But yeah. We will be shifting around, and unfortunately, it's probably. I think back in the day we would have been more like, we'll put it to a vote. Turtle Soup, what
Right.
day do you want us to do the show? But it actually
Yeah.
looks more like we got to pick an actual day that
Yeah, because
gets
I've
us
got
to
way
do
too
the
much
show
stuff.
because one problem is if you've got a day of the week issue
Mhm.
where you're on a vulnerable day, which Thursday is becoming very soon,
Yeah.
and life is happening, it really cuts down your odds of getting a show done. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what's been happening on our end between Greg passing away, the Shannon thing, other stuff, me not being available at different times, you know, and it's just been a rough time. So we're probably gonna be changing over the day, and we'll have to see what day that is.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. But just wanted to give you a heads up. And
man.
but thank you all for being here tonight. And
Absolutely. Sorry it's been so long.
yeah, well, speaking of being so long,
It tears in my heart when I'm with you. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, no matter what you say, it's still
And
the
I
same.
hope that you
do love me too. Something like that.
too. Yeah, that
Yeah.
like imagine that whole song plays in our hearts every time a Thursday passes and we don't do the show.
Oh yeah. For some reason that reminded me the other day we had an event at Catnip and Shannon had instrumental pop music playing and it played Brian McKnight back at 1 and I'm like, what? But no one was there to appreciate it with me and I was really upset because I was trying to explain to my Gen Z employees and they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Wouldn't that be funny if it's from Nick, does the song play in your head all day or just once? It plays really loud in my heart when I know we're not going to do the podcast. Like when one of us goes, "Hey, you down?" The other, "Oh man, I can't." It's really loud. The song's really loud in my head, in my heart. But then like it kind of turns into background music for the rest of the night.
So it's kind of like a bed of music that's just barely audible, and then when there's a silence, it goes up, and that's kind of what it is. So it's always there, but then it just comes back up. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be so funny if like all the crazy shit we've done over our lives, like when we're old as fuck, we wind up having like PTSD, like flashbacks over it, like because it was funny at the time, but then once everything gets inevitably ultra sad, and nostalgic, like we're like in the old folks' home, and that back to 1 starts, and we start like shaking and freaking out, you know, and everyone's like, "Oh, it must have been traumatic. Oh, something must have happened to him. So sad with that song." But actually, it's like our start back at 1 joke,
right?
Like that's
all
what caused it.
Yeah. Zach is talking about how I've loved my Brian McKnight since the early days of the Soup. Yeah, and I was like, I saw that comment, and I started thinking about it, and I was like, why have I loved this song? And then I remembered it's The Counting. That's what it is. One, two.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's all it was.
The counting's big. Also, we had a knack, and a lot of it came from you, and I just adopted it with turning song lyrics or cultural references into such shorthand that you just dropped it without any kind of like circumstance anymore.
Oh yeah.
We'd be like, and that's got your boy back at one.
You're right.
And you just keep going. Like it was originally a joke that had like a pause to laugh during it, but then eventually it's a little bit like it's been like it's that where like at first there was a gap for it. Now we just say it and we don't even laugh at it.
We don't
it's
even
just
laugh.
Understood.
Yeah, it's just understood.
Eric got
Charles
me on that Brian McKnight.
Lives downstairs. It's understood, right?
Lives downstairs and it's understood. I mean, that's so fucking good, dude. Oh my god. I mean, well, that's like we always say like a lot about living, like, and it got shortened to a lot about it.
Yeah.
So like that's like a whole ass like 90s country reference. It's just like it is, man. A lot about it.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what? It's like a lot about living, a little about love. I mean, Chattahoochee.
All the
funny enough, my wife is still shocked that in the 90s they could say it gets hotter than a hoochie coochie.
I'm still
and we've had a bit of a split on this because I feel that I'm like, but you gotta understand in the 90s, especially with country, sometimes like I don't think they were talking about what you think they were talking about. Like things were more innocent then.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Being a Southern man myself, I don't know if you know the reference or the origins of hoochie coochie, but I feel like I've heard that phrase before, not in a sexual context.
I've only ever heard that phrase as a sexual content.
Oh, really?
Sexual context. Yeah. But being country, I know that, or being around Southern people and stuff like that. There's things about hunting that I have no idea. There's parts on animals that I have no idea what they are. So I just assume that a country man is talking about some part of an animal that I just didn't know about. And
I mean, Nick, I am familiar with hoochie coochie in that terms, but what I'm saying is like, I feel like I've heard it said in a more innocent way. So we have this whole debate where she's like, no. They put that in that song, and that's what that means. Okay. And I'm like, I don't get to the bottom of this. So I don't think Nashville would drop that out in the 90s. Like, nah, fam, we're just gonna break this barrier. You know what I mean? And make like a super blue reference.
Right.
Also, what rhymes with Chattahoochee? By the way, that's my other defense.
It's not sexual.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something.
Like, what would you? Of course. I mean, orange door hinge like Eminem did. I mean, but like, which I think was amazing, by the way. Like, it absolutely rhymes.
It totally does. Totally does.
But
yeah.
But yeah.
Oh my god.
I got re-cracked up before we get. I'm sorry. Okay. I just got like re-cracked up at that guy on Instagram who like imitates Eminem.
Oh, he's so good. Life. I see him on TikTok, but he's so good.
The one that all the other ones are okay. The one that kills me, it still does, was when he falls down the stairs.
Yeah.
Like that would.
Yeah.
That one's just genius.
Yeah, they all
like falling down the stairs again. It's just like.
Yeah, it's excellent. Anyway,
yeah. No, but anyway,
so we got an email that we need to discuss.
We got an email.
So guys, feel free to email us turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. We've been kind of slack on checking it.
We've been cutting that slack.
Cutting the slack. The turtles, they don't cut it, but we do. And
now that like we're our availability for now has been so low, we're really focusing on like prime soup and stuff like that. Right. Not really doing like chef pretzels or bonus stuff because we want to get back to it, but we're just so kind of scattered and busy right now.
Right.
We got to start integrating emails back into the podcast because the only reason we stopped doing it was because we were shifting it over into their own episodes on YouTube. So we could take more time with them and not make the episodes overly long.
Yeah.
But now that we're kind of not in a place where we're doing the bonus as much, we need to get back to that. So that's kind of our game plan.
Again, feel free to send us any of the stuff. And we've been missing. We need to get back on some Turtles Come Out and Fight That. I've been trying to find the ones that I wrote down, and I found a few, I think. But hit us up with those and any of the other things we used to do. We're trying to get back in the swing of things. But Paul Calicote sent us an email the other day that said, actually in April, said, "What up, Triple D's?" Which I believe that's Deep Diving Daddies.
Keep diving daddies, man.
Paul Calicote here, your Northeast San Antonio correspondent, coming at y'all with a question. May I get a new soup magnet? Mine is almost done for. And that's it, guys. Thank y'all for keeping up with the journey. And else time, Paul Calicote. So I got a picture of it. Let me see. Where's my button for it? I think it's this one.
Oh, wait. Is this? Oh,
so
shit.
There's Paul's.
That is no longer the color fastness on that is.
Yeah, no, that is.
Yeah, it's starting to be where Buffalo. You can't read like the Manhattan style anymore because it's so like blown out.
Just yeah.
That's that San Antonio, Texas sun. You know what I'm saying? Like
it'll do it to you. And,
damn near as bad as Florida. Wow.
Oh yeah. And so yeah, I got to get another run of those going because it's been a while since we've had that logo as a magnet
printed out.
Yeah. And so
we should do another run though because they're worth it.
Oh, absolutely. I got to fix the frames on here because.
Then we do like customer service, you know what I mean? Where it's Turtle Soup Magnet has a
warranty,
lifetime guarantee based on our judgment. Right. And I think that is worthy of a replacement.
I mean,
because that's a real dyed in the wool turtle soup sticker right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so
I bet you
actually I don't know if that's
the color. No, sorry, I meant magnet. I'm sorry, man.
No, you're good. I was just making sure that I didn't read it wrong because I was like, oh snap, because we had stickers.
I think we did, but they were a little different. But yeah, like I think the thing is, I think we almost owe it to him because he's probably had it on the car for so long.
Yeah,
that if he peels it off, like the paint's going to be darker under there.
That's true
because that Texas sun, man. I mean, it probably looks weird under there, so we probably need to like. At this point,
cover it back.
We're dedicated.
Dedicated. Just like us to the journey.
No, just like us to the journey. That magnet has served its time. Served it well, by the way. Absolutely. I might add.
Well, Paul, thank you so much for again emailing us and showing us your dedication to Sparkle Motion. But so that's that for emails. All right, you ready to get into this I'm
ready to get into this content, bro.
Okay.
I'm ready. Let me move this thing over.
Let me adjust everything. Okay. I think we're good. All right. So, in the notes, I've got a quick, so basically if you need help, but I know that you usually have all that on lock. So, I just want to let you know that if you need reference, your boy's got you covered. But I
could probably use it as a reference.
But I think
a lot kind of has gone on in this show. I went back and reviewed the last issue, like issue 2, just to kind of get a thing. But yeah.
And okay, you're good. Okay.
Yeah. To future us if we ever clip these. TMNT, Mirage, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mirage Publishing, Volume 4 from April of 2002, number 3 in the series. We are here to cover this extra large issue. Peter warned us last issue.
Did.
Number 2.
He totally did.
He said, BT Dubs, next issue is a banger and it's long as shit and more value for your $2.95 American. And it turns out I got the value.
Yep.
You could say that you got $4.10 in Canadian hat bucks for the value because I mean it's great. So
it's great.
What do you think about this cover, Eric? What's your opinions on the cover? This Michael Dooney joint.
I love it. I've this cover for some reason these first couple of covers have stuck with me for some reason. I obviously because like I was getting these at the time, like I was going
for sure, and they're beautiful. Like they're like large and in charge. Like all these covers yell at you.
They remind me of the 90s Marvel Masterpiece cards that were hand painted by Brothers Hildebrandt, I think. And they just have like a it's just something else to it that just makes it pop, and it looks fantastic. And what we're seeing here is presumably Donatello working on the armored car that they had found that Ryan will talk about in a second. But
Might technically be Raph,
it
only
could be.
because I think in the scene Raph is doing the tires and Donnie is still working on the engine. But
That makes
I could
sense.
be wrong. I've read it once.
Yeah.
But either way.
Right. No, it could go either way, but yeah, one of the turtles, Raph or Don, looking at the armored car, and the shading, the light, the detail, it's just fantastic. And
what I love about it,
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was gonna say what I kind of love about it is if you kind of don't remember what's going on with the truck and that he's looking at like a brake assembly and leaf springs, if you don't know that or don't remember that, it looks like he's like uncovering this panel into this crazy like device or something like that.
Right.
It looks very dramatic.
It does.
But if you know that he's just changing the tire on a large diesel truck, then it's a little bit like, oh yeah, cool. They're working on the truck again.
Right. One of the things that I love, the little detail here, is you can see the tiles behind him of like
the mosaic, old like subway style mosaic tiles in the background.
Absolutely. And that is
super
excellent. Like just detail that's just obnoxious that you don't have to do that. You can still get the point across without that. But the fact that it's there is just amazing. And so yeah, no.
Also, can I say sometimes it's very difficult to draw like mechanical assemblies because it's all straight lines and you have to be pretty on with the perspective. This is great work.
Oh, absolutely.
Like this is almost like technical blueprint level drawing of this brake system and leaf spring and suspension system for this truck. Super cool. And of course, what I believe is a potential like kind of refined, like kind of almost like mixed coloring style.
Yeah.
Like it looks like paint, but there looks like to be some digital process and like gradient smoothing in it. It's flawless.
Oh, yeah.
There is something in this issue that I'm going to point out that I absolutely adore when it comes to mixed media later in this issue. Okay. That I just be ready because I'm going to geek out on that. But yeah, it's a great cover.
Oh yeah, excellent cover. So yeah, so you want to give us a so basically?
Yeah. So effectively over these last two issues, it's been a kind of a return to form. We have it's also told very cinematically, which, you know, if you're just joining us for this issue, you're going to see it very much in that like City at War style. It feels like a movie sometimes, like when they cut to stuff, they have a lot of stuff going on.
It does.
So first thing we see is the Utroms are on the moon with some like with another being who's like a large metal being. Doesn't look like a regular Utrom with like the Utrom in the belly and the robot body. He looks different.
Yeah.
They're preparing something that's going to take off. And we see it in issue 2 rise out of the moon. It's this huge cylindrical thing, and it has these like space tugs that are like using gravity beams to pull it out of the moon. It's a whole project they're working on. Mikey, after a fight with the Manhattan Militia, Mad Hatton. See, it's just too much.
It's too much.
They're trying, you know, after like Purple Dragons fell. And then the Foot Clan's not a thing. They're like, we got it. Now we got to get ridiculous with it. You know what I mean? Like, why couldn't you just be like the Sharks or like,
why couldn't you just be the Sharks?
Like the Stabby Boys or you know, like old, the B flats, the B sharps. You know, the old the Yellow Jackets, the fucking which was that in a show or a movie? No, it was a Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Brett falls in with that, like, he tries to make a gang?
No.
And the one gang, oh my God, dude. And the one, he has 2 gang members. Yeah. One of them is just some young Asian kid. And the other one is this old man, this old white man.
Yeah.
Who's in New York, who is in gangs in like the 50s and 60s. And he applies to be in the gang.
Yeah.
And he starts running down his resume of all the gangs he was in, and all of them are like 50s. Like, yeah, I was in the Yellow Jackets, the Blue Bombers, the Blue Beetles. I was in the Street Boys, the Backstreet Boys, the whatever. And like
Right.
he keeps going on and on. All these like 50s ass, like the Red Rizzlers, the Blue Rizzlers, like
Right.
all this stuff like that. And Brett's like, oh wow, you got a lot of experience. You know what I mean? But he's just like man who's in his like 70s.
Yeah.
It's just funny as shit.
That's
Anyway,
great.
yeah, they're the Manhattan Militia. They're fighting on the rooftop, and Mikey steals a one of their snowmobiles because it's snowing in New York,
Donnie
and
does.
he takes off.
Donnie
What?
does. Donnie steals the snowmobile.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, Donnie doesn't because
Donnie's the one that.
Donnie. Yeah, oh God, Mo. So basically, he's I'm falling apart.
basically,
Oh,
yep.
lost my powers. So basically, I mean, he had to spool up. Yeah, he had to shift into suit
sure,
mode. You know,
absolutely.
Yeah,
It's been
it's
a
been a
minute.
little while. Been
Yeah.
like a month. So
And they're all wearing
Dawn
red bandanas
takes-
anyway, so like.
yes, Dawn takes the snowmobile and hauls ass. Mikey chases after him, gets hit by a bus. He wakes up in a strange hospital, which turns out is a superhero hospital, which
Yeah.
is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And runs into Zippy Lad there, who's in the hospital. And that's cool. Meanwhile, Don Raff and Casey, Don finds an abandoned armored truck in a walled off part of the sewer. Leo's just been kind of chilling in the chair. He's just in the back of the lair, just chilling.
Mhm.
But yeah, Don, Raff, and Casey go to explore this thing. Turns out it's an armored truck with dead gangsters inside and
Yeah.
like money. And it's a little mysterious, but they're like, yeah, but we're also going to fix it.
Mhm.
And so they start working on it. And then your last setting is Shadow living in a farmhouse with Splinter. We meet she's training with Metalhead from the earlier issues of TMNT, which is really cool.
Oh yeah.
And living with Splinter, we also meet her boyfriend. She goes on a ride with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend's basically like, so when are you gonna let me meet this cool ass grandfather you have? When are you gonna let me like see the fam and like whatever? And she's like, ha ha ha, come on, Billy, hee hee hee. But she's deeply torn a little bit. Like in her monologue, she's like, I really like him. Like this seems like we've been going steady for like 6 months or something
His
like
name's
that.
Jay,
Like
by the way.
Jay.
Yeah.
Maybe Jay's ready for this, but like, man, I don't know. I gotta think about it, man, because like Master Splinter, like old dad, old bad rat dad could really like can really like freak somebody out. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
And I don't know if Jay's down or not. So that's kind of the status. So we get to our credits. Peter Laird, writing, lettering, inking, and toning. So he's picking up a lot.
Oh yeah.
On top of Jim Lawson's layouts and pencils, which are fantastic this issue. Eric Talbot inking in addition to Peter Laird. Michael Dooney cover painting because fuck. And then Dan Berger, our buddy, production assistants. And yeah, this is from April of 2002.
Yeah.
So we open up on the Guyana Highlands, southeastern Venezuela. And I gotta expand this a little bit because this guy's a little too small to read the small print.
Yeah.
I was trying to move it to a different screen, but there we go. Okay. So you see these guys are kind of climbing up, using rock climbing gear to climb up this, escarpment area to the top of this plateau. And they get up there, and they're talking about, they seem to be a pretty professional outfit. They're talking about like grabbing their tackle gear, picking it up. There's a doctor there who's kind of like, all right, looks like we're right where we need to be. And you get the feeling that like they're trying to track down something.
Yeah.
And that they're going to have to, they say that we may be the first humans to ever step foot here, which tells me they're pretty far out in a pretty remote area of Venezuela, trying to find what is effectively a dinosaur. They kind of make some references before you see the big image.
Right.
We meet a few of the characters, but we don't really need to get to know them very well.
Yeah, I don't know that we do.
No. So the important part is they're walking. One guy's trying to listen to the radio. He's kind of distracted. And we get to this big page 5 of the comic, which is really cool. Um, so we see the Doctor looking at this thing that's a creature, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the notes, it's interesting. They're wondering if it's omnivorous. Says 3-fingered hands, opposability. Um, very rough skin, very rough mottled skin, evolved from Archaeosauria,
Hmm.
and then bipedal, upright stance. Um, indicates active, warm-blooded animal. Then it says artist's concept based on probably eyewitness report,
Right.
and then it has dates that this creature was seen.
Right.
So it's funny because at first you think they're on an archaeological dig, but then you kind of figure out they're actively looking for some cryptozoology shit over here.
Yeah.
A creature that, you know, could be a very loose kind of eyewitness interpretation of a triceraton is my first thought.
I hadn't even thought about that, but you're absolutely right.
Like,
Yeah.
because it doesn't look like a triceraton at all, but
No, but eyewitness
but
account.
I mean, an eyewitness account, I'd probably be seen briefly.
Right.
And then some artist goes, all right, this is kind of what we're dealing with. And of course, there's horns on top, but like maybe they're not as big as they normally are.
Mm-hmm.
And like it just, yeah, it looks kind of like a T-Rex, but the arms are bigger.
Yeah.
It looks a little bit like anthropomorphic. But either way, that's what they're on the lookout for. This page is nuts. Page 6. So they all of a sudden are like flanked by. I mean, I don't even know how to describe this guy, Eric. What is this dude? Like, what is this thing?
He kind of looks like if E.T., an old ass E.T. and an old ass predator
E.T.
had a baby that was also super old.
With like Domo. Because the teeth
yes.
are just very Domo-like.
Yes. And so it's because it has the dreads, the looking stuff, like the predator and the it's just, yeah. And I don't know, but it just looks very
it's like
bizarre.
a Domo E.T. Domo predator. Also incredibly large creature by the look of it.
Yes.
Holding what appears to be, a two-handed beam weapon of some kind. Although, again, maybe we see everything as guns. But, like, I'd be worried.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe that's his personal conveyance. But I'd be like, that looks like a gun.
It does.
And I love it. He speaks in this, like, cryptic code that's like another language. And I absolutely love in comics when they try to interpret an alien speech like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's just cool as shit to me.
Oh,
I love
absolutely.
it. Just a trash over it. So they're all like, holy shit. Oh my God. I remember, wait, is it speaking? So the Doctor is saying, he's like, blah, 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 blah. Then you turn the page and he says two more things with exclamation points, like he's really getting to it. And then pop-off, they're done. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that thing is a beam weapon. So I was right. So lethal force justified.
Do you want to talk about this now, or do you want to wait until the end of the issue? Do you want to talk about thoughts on this?
Let's talk about this.
Okay. So the one thing that Ninja Turtles has taught me, the comic at least, is that whatever you think is evil or whatever, there's always something else. Like, this is not.
Yeah.
And so I have a sneaking suspicion, and I don't know. I have not read all the way through. I only got spoiled on one thing so far, and it's a minor thing with this series, but this was not one of them. So I'm curious if this is a teleportation thing.
Yeah, I did consider it. Like, just in the fact of, like, it would subvert expectations.
Yes.
But it at least now appears as if those people were exploded.
Right. Now,
that's what they want you to believe anyway.
That's what they want you to believe. Now, do you think that this is the creature they were looking for?
I can't imagine that would look like what they're looking for.
The only thing I see is the three fingers.
I see the three fingers.
Bipedal.
This has more toes than this guy. This guy's got 2
Yeah.
feet, and the other guy has like classic dinosaur, like 3-toed with claws.
Right.
This guy doesn't have claws. He does have the suggestion of little horns, but they're actually longer.
Yeah.
And he's got those dread boys on. He's got the dreads, and he's got those domo teeth, which aren't really on the other creature. The other creature looks a lot more like a dinosaur.
That's true.
Again, it could be eyewitness accounts are obviously off.
Right.
But
when I read
notoriously bad. But
yeah. When I read this through, I did not think that this was the creature they were looking for, based solely on their response to it.
Yes, and absolutely,
so,
absolutely. So they've run into something else.
Yeah, and that kind of.
And I think it's worth noting. Sorry,
I was just gonna say I kind of like that. I like that they're looking for one thing, they find something else. I think that is world building.
Mysterious creature speaks in like weird ass like language that we don't understand, and then poof, yeah, I'm down. There's definitely more going on in this jungle area of Venezuela than they were prepared for.
Yeah,
because it seems like they have another cryptid up here, potentially alien thing with some obvious some like motorcycle ape hanger looking beam weapon. Like your boy's like, get out on the highway, looking for adventure. Like
what if that's what if that's what the word bubbles are saying?
What if he's singing like Born to Be Wild in his own language and like blasting the shit out of them, dude?
Oh, that'd be so
my
good.
God.
That'd be so good.
That'd be what's that sound?
Oh,
imagine excellent. I think you could make almost anything scary if you shot it right. Can you imagine like these guys going through the woods and you hear like looking for adventure? And they're like, what is that? I think he comes out to like, yeah, we're gonna make it happen.
Right.
Like that's the part he like jumps out at and he like poofs your ass, Anyway.
That's fantastic.
It's funny. Songs I don't like from back in the day are all songs where like they just play the same like 4 chords and it never changes.
Okay.
Like not all songs that do that I don't like, but like if it's a 70s song that's kind of like boring, then I will think that. What were you? God, Alicia and I were at Firehouse Subs and a song came on where I was like, I've never liked this song, and it was the same thing.
Yeah,
where they kind of keep going, and you're like, this song just like sucks. Anyway, that's what he would do.
That's exactly what he would do.
Although Born to Be Wild and stuff, I mean, they are seen as like proto metal, like that they inspired metal, like with their riffs.
Yeah, so
it's a big one.
It is. So on
what's supposed to be the first metal riff again?
Ooh, I don't remember.
It was a song that had a lot of palm muting.
It wasn't. Was it Blue Oyster?
It wasn't.
No,
it wasn't Born to Be Wild. It was.
I don't know.
It sounds like I'm humming that. There's another song that's like broadly considered to be the first like open E like song that everyone says like kind of birthed metal, but I can't remember anyway.
So on TikTok, I have a channel where it's my Easy Opens channel on TikTok that I review 45s that a friend of mine gave me, and I'll probably get to it. But to your point, like some of these songs that I listen to, I'm like, oh, I'm so sick of this. Like, but I have to think about it like in the context of when it came out, that like this probably hit way different, where it wasn't associated with a scene like this, where you know what I'm saying? How we just did that. We associated that based on movies that we'd seen. Well, but back in 1974 when this was like hot off the presses, like it resonated a lot differently. And I try to put myself in that position, but
for sure.
But I still get what
like
you're
Michael
saying.
McDonald's, he just dropped that Helter Skelter and Born to Be Wild are considered early proto metal. It is Born to Be Wild because that whole thing.
Yeah.
So it was that song.
Okay.
I mean, we were joking about this when we went to pick up pickles, because when we were they were having that big like car thing in Plant City.
Yeah.
Like the big one, not like every Saturday, but like the big one. And we went over. We parked over by the train yard over there, and stuff. And we got back and they were playing, what was it? I think it was Buddy Holly.
Yeah,
Not the Weezer song, but actual
about
Buddy
to
Holly
say.
song.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how innocent music was back then, but like frumpy old adults were still mad.
Oh yeah.
You know, where it's like, I love you, Peggy Sue. And they're like, get this shit out of my house.
This is
You know,
horrible.
and we're just
yeah.
we're just talking about how like it doesn't matter what, like, you could straight up have like rap now that's just talking about straight up like P word files. And like people would be like, parents would be like, what the fuck? And kids are like, no, it's fine. But like, back then it's like there's just such innocent music where I'm like, how could you be mad at this?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
Like,
I was watching before we did the show. Someone was talking about Bart Simpson and how he stopped being the main character of The Simpsons early on, but they were talking about Bartomania and how like the Bushes were saying all kinds of things about The Simpsons.
oh my god,
and it's like
Gore
really
were mad about it.
yeah, everyone was like so mad about it, and it's like
was pissed.
it's not. And you go back and watch it, and you're like, why are you upset about this? This is obnoxious.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
my mom, I remember my mom straight up, like, I mean, she would talk about how Bart Simpson, like, she was an elementary school teacher, how she literally saw the difference. Like, she's like, yeah, I literally saw like a lot of kids trying to basically run some Bart Simpson shit in class, like to get laughs from everybody and say something like really rude to the teacher. And she's like, I hate to say this, but like it didn't start until The Simpsons.
right.
But like everybody was trying to like eat my shorts and shit. Like, and she's like, seriously, like that's what people were doing. And like, it was really obnoxious. And a lot of teachers at the time, they were like pissed off because they're like, oh my God, like you basically corrupted the children,
Yeah.
And
I feel like that coming from a teacher holds a little bit more weight than a parent for some reason. Probably because
it's funny. I mean, we weren't famously we weren't allowed to watch The Simpsons when I was really young because of that.
Yeah,
because my mom saw it happening in school and she's like, "You're not watching that."
Yeah,
like I don't want you to be rude like that. I mean that wore off pretty quick, but like,
but I could see a logic there.
Oh yeah, no, I remember I'd see The Simpsons and she'd be like, all right, let's change this shit. I'd be like, oh no. Because that was like kid like water cooler talk shit back in the day. But we just watched like TNG instead. So I mean I got my education and another thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so cutting over, so getting back to the comic,
yes.
We do talk about turtles occasionally. Now we see basically our cover image. We cut to them in the abandoned part of the sewer where
it's
Raphael. They're it is. Yeah, it's Raph. Raph's like putting a new tire on this guy, which is cool. And he's like, better be worth it, Donnie. And this, see, the cool thing about expanding pages, and we'll get into this later because it's gonna get a lot more pronounced, is they can just do a lot more full page shots.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And like half splashes, and it's cool as shit because you're just like, yeah, I love like zooming out like this. And you see that old thing. Obviously, they're under the hood trying to get the battery going. And yeah, they're just kind of talking about Donnie's like, this thing has a lot of potential, and he's like, oh, and Raph's like, you probably want me and Casey to help, and he's like, if you want to, I mean, like, it's cool as shit. I don't understand why you won't help. I mean, Jesus Christ, but. And yeah, we see that Casey's flushed the fuel lines and he's got some clean diesel in a can. They've got the battery going. They do ask what to do with the 3 dead bodies that were in. 2 were in the front cabin and 1 dressed like a 70s pimp was in the back with like a straight up 1911 in his hand, like dead as shit. And they're kind of like, oh shit, what do we do with these? And I need to zoom in here. So they did put them in body bags, and Raph asked, like, what about the stiffs and the money? And Raph is like, I mean, I say we just leave them here. Like,
oh yeah.
And Donnie's like, no way, Raph. Criminals they may have been. I love starting with that preposition. Like, criminals they may have been, but they deserve a decent burial.
Yeah.
As for the money, we can talk about that later. And then Casey's like, yeah, I don't know, man. I think Raph's got a good point. Like, because
Mm-hmm.
there's kind of dead ass bodies. Like, what are we gonna do with them? You know?
Right.
And I love this because Donnie's like, okay, maybe, but right now we gotta get this thing out of here, you know, before we're spotted. And you know, Raph's like, yeah, I can get behind that plan. Let's go.
Right.
So get the battery charged up, brand new battery, topped off. Get inside. Donnie, old dead ass people were in there, bro. But I don't know, bro. Like, I'd be a little bit like,
It'd be a little
yo,
weird.
Casey, did you 409 this shit real fast? Like, before I get in here, like, uh, especially because that dead dude, the driver was dead on that steering wheel, like all that like grossness. But I mean, whatever.
But they live in a
So they
sewer
get in
too,
there.
so you gotta
I guess at that
remember
point,
that.
I mean, it's a little bit like whatever, you know, when you're playing with those, you know, free Snickers bars in the freaking sewer. I mean, like what's it matter? You know what I mean?
Right.
So they get in there, go to start it up, and it starts up, and they are hype as fuck. They're so happy. But turns out, and I've seen this before, a car hasn't been started up in a while, especially when it's a diesel.
Yeah.
Smokes the place out.
Oh,
and they're like, oh shit, and they all haul ass. And they're like, oh. They're like, yeah, but we got a ride, boys. Let's go. And they're like, yeah, let's do this. So back at U.S. Air Defense Headquarters.
Meanwhile,
I have a love-hate with that.
Yeah.
Like, part of me is a cheese ball, and I love it when they cut to Washington. I don't know why. I think it's supposed to be all serious here. So there's part of me that like has my popcorn, and I'm like, fuck yeah, oh yeah, oh back at the Pentagon, fuck yeah, you know. I think there's too much X-Files fan of me to not appreciate back in Washington, honestly.
Oh, well,
but
Invincible
it is so cheesy.
Invincible does that with the Pentagon, and each time it goes back to the Pentagon, it always makes sure you see the sign that says Pentagon parking in rear. It always says that every time, so and it's funny. So good. I love it.
But yeah, we're back at U.S. Air Defense. I guess a strategic command, like NORAD. I mean, like, you know. Yeah. Anyway, they're there, probably in Cheyenne Mountain, like, yeah, fuck yeah, do anything. And they're looking around, and they notice the thing that popped out of the moon last issue. They have a thing. They say there's some kind of interference, that they're being jammed. What that is it took off from the dark side of the moon, and you cannot make radio contact through the moon. Astronauts experience this. The Apollo astronauts had blackout periods when they would go through the dark side of the moon where they couldn't talk to anybody.
Right. And
every day they did it, it was always because, you know, especially Chris Collins, the first guy in the orbiter, that was up there when Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin went to the ground. It was a scary time because it was dark. The capsule got noticeably colder, because it's the 60s. Noticeably colder, and you were what did Michael Collins say? You're the most lonely human in existence.
Yeah.
And it's so true. You are you're one of 3 humans who have gone the farthest any human's gone.
That's wild.
And you are the one in the capsule, and you are the loneliest human on Earth. And so there was always this like kind of like silent dread a little bit about when they go out of radio contact, which is just a lot. So absolutely. That's what the jamming is from. We do not have satellites around the moon, contrary to popular opinion, which means, or pop science, which means you still can't communicate around the moon. We're trying to fix that, especially if we want Artemis works. They want to go back to the moon. But you're still out of radio contact. So that's what's happening. They can sense something maybe, but they're getting intermittent signal until it comes around the moon. That's when all the vectors start locking in.
Yeah.
They get a scan for it. Say it's very large, almost 200 million cubic meters. And it is accelerating at a wild speed. It lifted off 30 minutes ago from the dark side of the moon. And this is the scary one, is computer projecting that on current reading, it will enter Earth orbit in 1 hour.
Ooh.
That's fast as fuck. That is fast.
Yeah.
That is fast. The fastest I want to say we launched off from Earth. And remember, during the Apollo program, I'm sorry to get nerdy, but in the Apollo program, we didn't really orbit the Earth. We took off, and next time around, we launched to the moon. There was no like, hang out at Earth for a while, then figure out when you're going to launch. It was like, no, the propulsion we're getting from the Saturn V
Right.
and the second stage is going to take us straight to the moon. Right.
Yeah.
So even then, it took them multiple days to get there. And that was going as fast as they were able to then.
Right.
Something taking off from the surface of the moon with no apparent thrust and then entering probably not relativistic speeds, but close to it to get to Earth in 1 hour is incredible acceleration that would kill almost any kind of creature. So yeah, it's scary that it's an hour.
Right.
It's scary.
Yeah.
So they contact.
If anyone tells you they're going to be at your house in an hour, that's still scary. Like where you
That's
live.
scary, and they can be down the street and be like, I'm coming in an hour. You're like,
yeah, you're like, well, then my day's gone. Sorry.
Well, I'm done.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Kind of funny. It says here, weapons targeted long ago at Cold War era enemies are given a new and even more foreign target. ICBMs would not be successful at hitting an incoming target coming from space because they are not made to do that.
Dang. Take that, Peter Laird.
Yeah, you couldn't repurpose the ICBM stockpile like that looks like a Minuteman. You couldn't repurpose a Minuteman to intercept an air target. They were never designed to do that.
Yeah.
So just a little. Now I guess they could nuke it on Earth's surface if it landed. Like it pointed at wherever it is.
I was taking it that that's probably what they were going to do. That as more of a means of I didn't take it as they were going to launch them into space. I took it more of like they're locked in. And we're ready to go if they land and they decide what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I just think it's funny where it's like shoot the nukes at them.
Yeah, just do that.
They are replacing the M says they're replacing the Minuteman system. They are, which is interesting. It's like we're not supposed to be proliferating, but we'll make new rockets. So how about just no more? But they and then take that nuclear fuel and make more power plants. So they're aiming that thing. Lately I've been watching this nuclear engineer named T. Fulse react to nuclear videos about nuclear power and nuclear weapons. It's been fascinating. Because you get to watch a really informative video.
Yeah.
And then you get to hear him pause it and talk about actual nuclear engineering and nuclear power plants. It's been very interesting. It's worth it. So they scramble the jets. They do their thing. Now, this is the part of the comic.
Okay.
The minute that the jets, it says like at air bases, squadrons of fighter jets are scrambled. I didn't remember exactly what year we were in.
Yeah.
So this is when I thought, is this post 9/11? I knew we were in the 2000s.
Yeah.
And I was like, jet fighters scrambled. I'm like, because they didn't do I mean, they scrambled, but they weren't very efficient at it on 9/11.
Right. No.
So I'm like, they seem like they're really ready to go here.
Yeah.
But so we'll hear that later. Navy vessels show up and Earth satellites are repositioned to get maximum data for the moon, and this one has missiles on it. That doesn't exist, but whatever. That's cool as shit. That'd be awesome. So cut back to the situation with Mikey getting out of the hospital.
Yeah.
And he's kind of getting, taught out. The doctor's like, "Do you want any painkillers?" He's like, "No, I'm good." He's like, "Yeah, well, this level of pain med is free of charge." And he's kind of like, "Oh, that's cool." And he basically says like, we can do a courier service for your medicine. And I mean, it's just more in depth on this whole thing. And Raptar, the kind of archangel character that we saw before, or sorry, angel character
I thought about that later.
is kind of with Mikey as he's getting discharged. And they talk a lot about the security and stuff like that. They also offer a card, an ID card to Mikey that would let him bypass a lot of the initial security to get into the emergency room if he needed to. He asks if you have a card for each of his brothers too. Doc says, "Yeah, that sounds fine, but I do need to run that upstairs." So we'll get back to you later. I'll email you.
Oh, ooh, yeah.
I will follow up via email. So yeah, he's like, hey, Raptar, offered to give you a lift home. Like Raptar's job. Raptar's like, I'll pick you up, bro.
Oh yeah.
It's a little bit like in Invincible, like when the guy's like, oh, this is super gay, and he's like being held while
Oh
they're
yeah.
flying above.
Oh yeah.
It's very much like that, where he's like, oh, okay. But funny enough, I guess because it's Mikey, he's not worried about it. Mikey's like, the scenic route, bro, let's go.
Oh yeah.
So they get on going, and this full page is just so funny.
It is. It's
There's a real like I'm king of the world thing going on with
Oh,
your boy
absolutely.
right here right now. And Mikey's having a good time though, because Mikey's down. You know what I mean? Mikey's like, hell yeah. So then the last thing I'll do before I hand it off to you is that the Utroms are preparing to enter Earth's atmosphere, activate the shields. It's likely we will be fired upon by Earth defense forces, but it's imperative that we do not return fire.
right.
You see all the tugs, and they're all like bringing that big thing in.
Oh yeah.
And I'll hand it off to you, big guy.
Yeah, and so on that spaceship, we still see the character in the upper right on page 24 that we still don't know who this is. And the Utroms look terrifying as always, but just actually not as homicidal as or
They could do
genocidal.
They could do a lot of like PR and rebranding on the head sculpt they use for their heads. I think that's what makes them look so scary.
Absolutely. And and it's like, I wonder if like they obviously based that off of humanoid people. So you would think that with their advanced technology, they could have formulated something that was a lot less terrifying. But because you have it look like that usually you want to mimic someone else's appearance so that you seem relatable and that you can connect with them. But like this just looks like straight up just Terminator stuff. Like that's just, I don't know. It's just weird. And at this point in time, that movie exists and they should know about that in some form or fashion. Yeah. But what do I know? So back at the farmhouse with Splinter, your boy, old dad, he is making some tea and some cookies, it looks like, and he's got a fat blunt down there somewhere. It looks like, and yeah, he's about to blaze up, and he's earned it though. That boy Splinter's earned it.
Every minute of his like retirement, he's earned that shit.
Yeah, he's in a rat-tirement right now, and he is just ready to just sit on his comfy TV pillow on the ground. And he gets there, he puts it on. It doesn't say what channel, but he turns on the TV, and we get some zombie movies going on, and they say, yeah.
What's it say on the TV screen? My spouse is a...
Oh, let me zoom in. My spouse is a chocoholic. I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
I thought this was zombies.
Me too.
I thought this was like a zombie movie, but no, it's My Spouse is a Chocoholic. That's great. And that's right. That makes more sense. That the person on the TV saying, "You love that stuff more than me."
Oh yeah,
because he's a chocoholic. And then I love.
It just makes sense that like his teeth are all like rotted looking and all like weird because like he's addicted to chocolate. It's pretty funny.
Oh yeah. And then I love how they have the turtle camouflage tire treads wallpaper in the house, which is
fair.
The real Phil Turtle skin throwback to Next Mutation. But your boy, he's double fisting that cup of tea, and as you
drinking with two hands is always more soothing.
Absolutely. And it's just he's got it down to an art. Like he knows exactly what it is. I'm a little disappointed that we can't see what the DVDs are on the bottom of the TV and everything. That I feel like Peter dropped the ball there. But I won't hold it against him.
Those are VHS tapes, but yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. They probably. Oh yeah. No, they'd have
VCR up there.
That's true.
Which is funny because 2002.
Yeah.
2002 VCRs were still a thing.
Absolutely.
Like DVD was like
it was
coming on.
Yeah.
It was around, but like VHS was also it wouldn't be unusual to see a VHS player in someone's house in 2002.
No. But It would be unusual to see a motorcycle in someone's house, but that's why you got your girl Shadow outside with the motorcycle, and she is just coming back from somewhere where she's thinking that was fun. And if you weren't clear from the so basically that we did, she went somewhere with Jay. And I'm not saying anything happened, but they seem like adults, I think, or she's at least like
consenting adults. I mean, then maybe it was fun. Maybe they played Parcheesi.
Maybe, who knows? Board games, Jenga, all kinds of things. Maybe they had a seance. Who knows? But she was having a good time, and she is headed back apparently to the house, and she's thinking to herself that whether or not she trusts Jay enough with the fact that her like grandfather essentially is a rat, and that she has to like, is he ready for that? Can he handle that? That's a big decision, and that, you know, that's a decision she shouldn't make on her own either. That is, but chances are that might be also one of those things that it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. But
yeah, probably. And like Splinter would probably be that guy that'd be like, I trust your judgment.
Yeah, but also I think Splinter likes to be like, oh, somebody new I can talk to.
Pretty much. You know? I mean, if it goes well, Splinter's like, yeah, dude, I can hang out with him.
Right. He can always come palpable lobotomize him. So, I mean, it doesn't...
that's a good point.
That's true. So she gets back to the thing, and she says that she's known Jay for years, but they've been going out for 5 months now, and they're pretty sure... She's pretty sure that he's ready for it. Which, I mean, I don't know. Like meeting someone's parents 5 months is... But...
Especially it depends on how often you see each other.
That's true.
Well, let's be honest. 5 months is a long time at that age, but like also it matters. Like, do y'all hang out like every day? Like, how serious are things? Because like, if you see your boy like once a week,
right,
and it's been 5 months, I mean, that's not that many dates.
No,
it just depends on how often you see each other.
Right.
Like, do you go do other stuff?
Right.
Like,
but
I mean,
she brings up
she's known him for 3 years, which means, just bear with me, if Jay is a local to that area. And we've had debates on whether that's the farmhouse or not.
I don't think it is. It's not.
Like, we don't think it is. But let's just say they're in like upstate New York.
I think they are, though.
If she's known Jay for 3 years, I take it that Jay is a native of that area.
Right.
Which means that Shadow has been living up there at least part-time.
Right.
For a while.
Yeah.
Like, which I just think is canonically interesting. If she's known him for 3 years, dating him for 5, it means that she was probably enrolled in school up there.
Right. Well, 5 months. Right.
Sorry. Knowing each other for 3 years, dating for 5 months means that like she was probably enrolled at least in high school in that area in the north. Which is just, I don't know. They don't give you all this information. So it's always interesting to like think about it.
Absolutely.
But 5 months when you're 18.
Yeah.
I mean, significant percentage of your life. Which is fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely considerable, but it's also a pivotal time in your life where your whole life can change and everything is like you're on the precipice of everything. But like, but I like how she also thinks about. She's like, but pretty sure is not good enough. Especially if it isn't, then it could ruin everything. Because like not only could it ruin your relationship, but it could blow up your whole spot. And like
spot,
your whole family's
Splinter at this age with his little tea, cookies and blunt, like sitting in front of he ain't looking to be on the run again.
No. But
your boy is like rat retired over here.
Now I can understand her wanting to be closer and having a family.
Rat tired.
This is natural. I get this, but there was a part of me that thought, like, what if I don't mean to be crass, but like, what if Jay is withholding affection until he can meet your grandfather? Like, what if Jay's like, no, not until you let me meet old dad. No.
Like they're getting all hot and heavy, and she like goes to like unzip his pants, and he's like, stop. I need to meet your grandfather first.
Right.
I don't think that would work for Shadow. I think Shadow. I think that happens one time to Shadow, and Shadow's like, I'm gone.
Right. She's like, okay, I'll think about it.
Fucking weird.
And
that's weird. Yeah, that's a turn off.
You want to take off my genes? I need to see your genes, your genetics. I need to see
your genetics, baby. Could that be? I'm trying to think. That could be among the most cold shower things to say in the middle of getting hot and heavy. I think
That's
I need to meet
okay.
your grandfather.
Yeah.
Or when can I meet your grandfather? I'm just trying to think of like what else could you say that's within within the realm of like something that in normal society you could say and it wouldn't be quite crazy.
Or like,
Like,
oh, you remind me of my
have you
mom when you
filed
do
your
this.
taxes yet?
Right.
Like, could that be one?
Or my mom, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah, like mom really wants to meet you.
Yeah.
Um,
Or like, your hands are just like daddy's, things like that.
that's
Yeah,
a
those are weird things to say.
your hands are just like.
And if your hands are like splinters, then that's just a whole other thing. I mean,
What if you started being like, one, you're like a dream come true, two, like,
I want to
no,
meet
that
your
could be,
grandfather. No,
that's a slow jam.
that is a slow jam.
That could get things like more hot and heavy.
Just start back at one.
Yeah, I think like you can't touch my private bits until I meet your grandfather could be like at least in the top 5 ways to never have that person do that with you again.
That's true. Yeah.
I am gonna keep thinking of one. Now it's just in my head.
Oh, I know. Understandably. I imagine that's something that Bobcat Goldthwait would do like on dates. Like that's his in or out moment.
Oh my
like
God.
He's like, yeah, no, can you hang? Okay, just like my movies. Like, yeah, that's how I know you're hip.
No, he would have one of those.
So so she goes in the house and she sees Splinter, and Splinter tells her to talk to the hand and says, "Come here and watch this." And he's like, "No, it's a live broadcast." She's asking if it's something cheesy, some cheesy talk show, and he goes, "No." But I love that she assumes that that's what Splinter's watching, which makes me think that
he's watching daytime talk shows.
That is 100% what Splinter is watching.
Which is 100% what he would watch. It'd be like Ricky Lake, all that stuff. Yep.
Oh yeah. And it's a live news broadcast from New York City, one of many on almost all the channels. And then, the detail here is fantastic. Especially I love it when they draw the components, the back of the TV and the VCR and all that. I absolutely love that. And I'm not sure what this artwork is in the top right. It looks like it might be Japanese, maybe like some kanji or something, but I don't know. Or at first I thought it might be just chicken's feet taken from like an upward angle, like down, and I'm like, why does Splinter have this in their house? That's freaking weird. But yeah, so they get in there and she's like, like, what do you mean? They're talking about the arrival of space aliens in the city, and she's like, what do you mean aliens, space guys? Like are you pulling my leg? Like, is this a joke? And I'm always weird about like the people that are in the turtle circle that they get weirded out by aliens. Like it's like the turtles have been in outer space and other dimensions and time traveled. Like they should tell these stories. Like this is nothing new to y'all. But here we are.
That would be a good one. Hey, are you pulling my leg?
Oh.
Person be like, what?
What?
What'd you just say to me?
Are you joking?
Stop jerking my chain. Oh
my Lord. Is that a framed photo of chicken feet? Like, why do you have that?
Yeah.
So
you ever seen Buckethead live? That'd be it. That'd be the one.
That'd be the one. That's how you know.
If someone brought up Buckethead, that'd be it.
Yeah,
that'd be it.
Just cold shower. So Splinter says whether the aliens are in question are real or a confabulation, the rumors of their approach have sparked genuine and widespread worry. So the news is talking about the governor has sent the National Guard, all these reports, but basically the main takeaway is that the city is running wild. Like they're just like freaking out, and like cars are flipped, trucks are just left unattended. But then you have gangs and stuff that are shooting at the sky and doing all kinds of weird stuff, and it's the Mad Hatton militia. And then you get a scene that was recorded by an amateur videographer of your boy Michelangelo hitching a ride, and just it's great. And I love
the pixelated art.
Art is so good. It's
and
so
they
good. I
talk
don't know if
about
it
how
shows
it's
up well on here, but
pixelated, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It's so
yeah.
simple, but I love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I don't know. I really dig this. And so yeah, it but this is where I was wondering, is this what you're talking about, the reference? Cuz Shadow goes, "Hey, that's Rushi. Ruish is what she says."
No, no. The
Yeah.
reference
Oh,
was earlier. It was during
oh
the news
dang.
broadcast. It was here on page 31. He goes, while there is no official confirmation of the alleged fleet of alien spaceships, this city, understandably on edge since the events of last September, is on the
Oh,
verge of panic.
yeah. Okay, so
So
9/11, yeah.
yeah, so that's a 9/11 reference. We're in, and then again, once I looked, and we're in April of 2002, which usually means about a month later, so May,
Right.
when people are reading this of 2002. So they're not very far away from 9/11, and just the fact that this is the only reference to 9/11,
Yeah.
like in this whole series, is just the events of last September.
Yeah.
He doesn't even say 9/11 in there, which is very
Well,
interesting.
you also got to remember too that I wonder how far in advance this was done, the writing and
Oh,
everything before, because it might be this was the first one that came
well,
out.
that'd go back a ways, dude.
Well,
That would be
if issue one
well,
if issue one was done 2 months ahead of time, so that would put it at October ish.
yeah.
So maybe, but I don't know. I don't know how far the writing was done and sent. But
What's kind
it's
of crazy is that they mention it at all.
no, absolutely,
Which puts this in our literal universe.
yeah,
Um, and I think it's cool to rope it in. I think it's like, yeah, no, it's May of 2002, and like, yeah, if somebody says some shit's going down in New York City gonna act different after September 11th. Like it ain't like it was before. But it's so funny how like I thought about it when they said the fighter jets are scrambling, and I thought, like, are they going to acknowledge 9/11? Is this like after 9/11?
yeah.
And then yeah, then they're like, oh, the events of last September. That's the reference I was talking about.
Um. Oh, okay. So I just did a quick on the fly research
Oh,
real quick.
oh, you mean
So
math on the mic? Yeah. All
oh
right.
yeah, math on the mic essentially. Yeah, I was like wondering what this was because I thought because once
Oh,
they show
Ruish. I
yeah
had
once
no
they
idea
show
what that was.
I had an inkling based on the context, but I was like that doesn't make any sense. I don't there's something else I'm missing. I can see the through line, but I just couldn't put it together.
Okay.
Well, she sees Mikey and Raptor flying, and she goes, "Hey, that's Ruish." And Splinter just immediately goes, I think you're right, Shadow. It does look like Michelangelo. And I'm like, but so why was she calling
Yeah.
Michelangelo Ruish?
Same.
So on the Technodrome forums, which is a wealth of knowledge and just wonderful website,
Oh, absolutely.
somebody had asked the same question, and let me see if I can give the proper name. The actual person who posted this back in 2009, their name was Ruish on the forums, and
Oh.
they believe that in the letter columns of Volume 4, Peter said that his daughter had a cat named Mikey, and the name gradually evolved from Mikey to Mikaroo to Roo to Ruish, if they recall correctly. And yeah, so
Oh,
that's
so that
kind
was
of
her baby nickname for Mikey?
essentially yes. And yeah, it's a
I
little
did have
strange.
that thought. I
Yeah.
I had a little bit of a thought that I was like, maybe that's her nickname for him. That like when she because she took to Mikey when she was very little.
Oh,
Like you
sure.
see that in volume 2 and stuff.
Yeah.
So that she may have turned Michelangelo into Ruish or Rue, and that she just says the name now like that.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's a cool throwback, I
It could have
guess,
honestly
sort of.
just been a thing that he wanted to show his daughter.
Sure. Sure. And
That he's
I'm
like,
not
oh,
going to
see, I
begrudge
put it
him
in the
for that.
comic. That's
But
pretty cool. Yeah, I would do it.
yeah. But to your point about 9/11, this explains why the people are shooting in the streets and like doing crazy stuff.
They're like, we ain't gonna get God again.
Exactly. No. Fool me once.
Again changes everything after
Again changes
9/11.
everything. It's true. So so they've been firing weapons at the aliens, which they're referring to the aliens as Raptor and Mikey. And they they're just like, well, I don't know what's going on. This feels so unreal. But Splinter tells Shadow to call April and check on her, make sure that her and Casey are okay. Well, we cut back to Casey and Raph and Dawn, and they're in the they're in the fully functional armored truck, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to get it up the ramp. And so they made a ramp that's just totally
out of like a bunch of bric-a-brac.
Oh yeah.
Stuff.
And they're like, well, they're just going to go for it and just do it. And they do. And they crash. They get up there. They make it onto the platforms of the subway, and they make their way, which is like super dangerous, up the...
This really surprised me, I'll be honest, that they did this.
I mean, turtles have a history of reckless abandon behind the wheel. I mean, it's... I understand your point, but like they have a history of it. And so, but you got Casey yelling out the window, hey, sorry, folks, coming through, all that. Well, they get up to the top, and they're like, what's going on? Because everyone's freaking out, but it's not because of us. Like, there's something else that's going on. And they're like, what is this? And then we start to see the bomber jets. That's what this is, right? The stealth bomber.
Those are the stealth bombers.
But the thing that's weird about this one is that it looks...
fighters. I can't remember.
It looks like an alien type ship too, because it's got weird artwork on the sides.
Yeah, I think that's just like their like battle
insignias.
They're like battalion sign or whatever. I think it's funny because they're obviously based off stealth fighters, but the problem is like they have a gigantic Air Force logo on it, which that's the whole point, is they don't have any markings on them,
right? So you can't associate
black,
right?
Well, the idea is like the whole thing is that their literal surface is supposed to reflect like or scatter radio or scatter radar.
Yeah.
But if you put paint on it, it's going to give an image back. So that's why they don't have big logos on them.
Which is probably why I'm weirded out by it, because I'm used to not seeing anything on it.
Then again, I mean, these don't have to be stealth bombers. They could be based on like a fictitious, plane based on that stealth design.
Right. So they're shooting all kinds of stuff at it. Nothing's happening. They're like, what's going on? Like, nothing.
Negative contact. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, this. I thought these things were supposed to be like frisbees, blah, blah, blah. And nothing's working. And they're just like, this is weird. And they're not attacking us back. Like something's going on. So then you start to see, I love this shot because you can see from the point of view of the giant cylinder, whatever that's floating, you can see the coastline.
Great. Yeah.
And it's going to the water. And it's just awesome. And,
it's really cool, the left and right of that, because on the left panel you see from the top angle that it's going over the pier.
Right.
And then, the other one, you get that other angle from the pier and it's lowering. It looks cool as hell.
Oh, yeah. It looks so good.
I love it.
Then you get April in the streets talking to Shadow, and she's saying she's not having a great day. The doctor said, and she goes, wait, what? You're breaking up.
And they're teasing. Blah, blah, blah. And they're teasing us with this. And
absolutely.
I appreciate it. I get it. But they have been jerking our chain, put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
About April's medical issues and her ability to have a child / like get pregnant, or is she pregnant? Like, and they've been teasing us for 3 issues because they always like, she starts to say it, or like Casey will start to say it and they get cut off.
Right.
And so I'm a little bit like, Peter, I love you, but I want you to deliver on this eventually.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of killing me a little bit, but
right. Well, so she's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm getting all kinds of static and cell phone issues. And then she looks up and she goes, oh, okay. And you see a shadow, and then you see that.
I wonder if that's Skrok. I wonder if that's like not like an EMP or some kind of like electromagnetic pulse effect.
Could be.
Because it shot through the atmosphere so fast.
Yeah.
That it may have, or maybe the shield may have done it.
Could
Like,
be.
the shield
Also,
that they put up, or
yeah,
that absorbed those missiles.
yeah.
Yeah.
Could also be the cell phone technology was different a little bit, or at least not. It
Oh,
was
2002.
yeah. So
She's lucky that bitch flips.
right.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah,
that could have just been the brick, bro.
it could have
I mean,
been.
the strip Nokia brick, that was the phone of 2002. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So she looks up and she sees it, and I love these shots to show
Yes.
scale, and yeah, no, it's fantastic. And
You know what's funny?
um,
This came out, sorry to interrupt, but this came out before Independence Day, but it feels like Independence Day.
I don't think you're correct.
Independence Day came out. Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh my god, it's so fucked up.
Yeah,
It came out in 96.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I was
I
about
don't
to
know
say, I was like,
what
I
got me.
don't.
You know what it is? I'm so used to not being in the 2000s.
Oh, sure. No,
Like,
I get you.
I just auto
Yeah,
went like, well, this is like 92, so
and
like,
right, and it
which is
doesn't
so
help.
stupid, but it
No,
did come out before.
right,
Obviously, Independence
but
Day
it,
came out in 96.
but it does. Welcome to
This
Earth. It
Welcome
doesn't.
to Earth.
It doesn't help that it's also black and white, so your brain instantly thinks that it's older a lot of times.
Yeah,
Um,
that was just a brain fart.
yeah,
I'm glad you caught me on that. I'm glad you didn't go, yeah, no, you're totally right.
yeah, you're absolutely right.
That would have taken me a long time to figure out myself. Like, wait a minute, that's not right. But
No,
it does feel very Independence Day. These two pages,
oh, it does
pages
though.
41 and 42, which again, like,
I've been wanting to
be
watch
still
that
my
movie
heart.
again.
You know, it'd probably be a really good rewatch. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, I've been wanting to rewatch that, and I don't know why, but something about it. But you're absolutely right. It definitely has those vibes, and especially with the scale shots, like the shots that show you the size of these things. Yeah, that was
Perspective is
that's
so good.
oh yeah.
It's
So
so good.
and it continues throughout the rest of this issue. You see it slowly moving non-violently past all through New York, and then past the Statue
All
of
over
Liberty.
Manhattan, over
Mhm.
to the Hudson,
Right.
Bay out there. Just honestly, put this in my veins. The end of
Mhm.
this comic is so great because there's not another word
Right.
really until the very end, and I love it.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
just makes its way in the water, and I love that there's an old warship that's submerged down there, and it gets smashed, like crunched
Oh
all to
yeah.
pieces. And then you got your boys down there saying self-leveling mechanisms activated, base is down and level, all grav tug units prepared to fuse base to seafloor, fire metaphase beams now. And
And weld that bitch to like the
yep.
bottom of the floor, ocean, the sea floor. That's so fucking good.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
man.
And then you got a tugboat up at the top that they're just like, or not a tugboat, but just a navy boat, I guess.
It's
It's
like it's like a fisher boat. It's like a fishing boat.
yeah,
Like a
and they're like,
trawler.
damn, this thing almost swamped us,
Damn.
but
That'd
everything's
be us.
okay.
I'd be like, damn.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, and they notice that they've got visitors. It's like there's something's come up, and it's and they're not planning on leaving anytime soon. And you see the same thing that we saw on the moon, but on Earth in the water now.
That
And
bitch, they set up a dead ass island out there, bro. That is so badass. I
it is
love
so
that
good.
so much. I
Oh
love
yeah,
that so much. Like that
yeah,
is so sick.
it is excellent. And then we've got
Oh, this preview.
yeah, TMNT Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #4. You get a character that looks like some sort of robot ninja, and to be and a female to
Yeah, it does look feminine. Absolutely.
yeah. And so
Coming in June.
yeah, like so that's really cool. And
That's nice too because it could be a lie, but it shows the four turtles in fighting stances together. So hopefully
right.
they reunite.
Yeah, that would
This
be
issue
awesome.
because I've been missing Mikey being with the team and Leo being in the sewer just chilling while like Raph and Donnie go and work on the thing. That's all cool to me. I've loved it. I've loved it. I'm
Right.
just saying like I would like them to come together.
Sure.
Like, next
Yeah,
issue.
no, I agree. And but yeah, then we got April 2nd, 2002 in his Mirage studio office. Eric Talbot is hard at work inking pages for TMNT #5. And I was curious.
And of course, Talbot would have a guild. Is that a guild over there?
What
trying to
is
look at
that?
the headstock.
Oh, the guitar. Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about. I'm zooming in
It's
as best I can.
it's either a guild or oh, that logo is so familiar,
Yeah, I don't know.
but it's not guild. It's not Gibson.
It looks like it could
Either
have
way,
been a Gibson, but I don't know. But
yeah,
maybe not. I don't know anything about guitars or enough. But he's got a bunch of skulls and a bunch of rats on his desk, and I kind of love that.
yeah.
And
I do love the office phone on the wall, like very
oh,
like on the right.
on the
It's
right. Oh,
We'll
okay.
keep
Oh,
going.
there it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got
And
his little drawing square and his like cups and stuff. I don't know.
this
There's
is
some
just
cool art on the
really.
walls too.
Oh yeah. And yeah, and I
God,
think that one on the top right
just to
is
hang
is
out
a
in that
turtles.
office, bro.
The one in the top right is Splinter holding the turtles. I think that was a cover at
Yeah,
some point. Yeah, and
it's also got some big panel, like some like side splash panels on the
yeah,
wall
yeah,
too.
which is awesome.
Um,
But
which is sick. And I guess this gives us our thing here. So this is in April 2nd. He's inking TMNT 5, which they say is going to come out. Oh my god.
um,
4 comes out in June. So they're bi-monthly like old Mirage used to be.
right.
So that'd be September. That'd be June, July, August. So that issue he's inking in April is supposed to drop in August of
Mm-hmm.
2002 by the release schedule.
Right.
So that means they're 4 months ahead.
So
Yes,
yeah,
4 months ahead on work, which means an issue released in April would have been finished by January,
right. So this, I think
and
the
then
math adds up.
issue 2 would have gone back to the end of September. Right? No, issue 2 was being made during 9/11.
Yeah. So that's probably why the issue 3
This is
finally
the
gets
first issue where they were able to have some distance
right.
and then put it in the comic. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Interesting. So they covered 9/11 the first chance they had,
yeah,
actually, like time-wise.
right. And
Cuz
yeah,
they were probably so deep in issue 2 that they couldn't like obviously change anything. It was already like laid out.
right, exactly.
Interesting.
And
It's cool to see him at work though. I mean,
oh,
dude,
absolutely.
can you imagine, dude, April 2nd, 2002, everything's fine. Like,
Yeah.
I know we have a shitty president and we're about to go to war for no reason, but like just chill out with Eric Talbot like
Yeah.
in that office. I can spend all day in there.
Oh
2002?
yeah.
Oh,
Oh
that'd
yeah.
been sick.
Yeah,
M M
it's
M M probably like traded some guitars and gear with him, so he
oh,
probably
M definitely
knows.
knows him. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised.
M
I wouldn't
was
be
there.
surprised if
M
that
was
was
there when
M's
the magic was
guitar.
written.
Um
Oh yeah, and M took the photo and gave it
oh,
to Peter.
absolutely. I mean,
And was
who
like,
else?
"Here,
I
man,
mean,
this is a cool shot I took."
yeah. And just casual. I found it in my hat.
Yeah.
So here you go. I'll send it to you. And oh my goodness. I used to repair his pedals. Mhm.
Yep.
Knew it. I knew
Makes
it.
sense.
Absolutely. It
Yeah,
checks.
yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, so what'd you think? What'd you think of this issue?
Oh, man, I tell you what, it's still as epic as the scope has been, the whole thing. I really like the kind of the different settings. I appreciate there's a galactic scale thing going on with the Utroms and building that thing on the moon,
Yeah.
and they're coming to Earth. There's kind of a somewhat like same size thing where Mikey is figuring out like that there's this whole superhero medical care hospital situation.
Mm.
It zooms down into most of our boys fixing up an old mysterious armored truck,
Yep.
and then zooms really into Shadow and Splinter, just kind of living like
Yeah.
out in upstate, and her kind of talking about her boyfriend and figuring out like kind of the interpersonal stuff about her meeting old rat dad and stuff. So it's got this really cool thing where they can cut back and forth from things that are very like almost like galactic level threat
Right.
or intrigue, all the way down to Shadow, don't forget to put on your snow tires.
Yeah.
because you might slip in the snow while you're riding your dirt bike. I mean, literally. Like,
Hmm.
so it can go back, it can go anywhere it wants.
Right.
And they're doing it all at once. And I love how wide the story feels, and I do feel like they're doing a great job of like putting all these things on. They're like 4 different trains on 4 different tracks, but like somewhere up ahead, they collide somewhere,
Right.
and you're just waiting for them to collide. So again, excellent layouts. It's so good to have the Mirage crew back.
Oh
Not to
yeah.
knock Image. Image was its own cool thing, but
Oh
like
yeah. I still loved it.
I'm just
But
I'm just rolling around in the fact that it's Mirage and it's being handled so well.
oh, absolutely. And yeah, the the thing I love about it is that this is the second issue without any fighting. Um
Yes.
and you're like, you forget about that, and then you're like, oh yeah, no, there was, this is just, I mean, sure, the fighter jets shot missiles at something, but like it wasn't the turtles
Sure.
fighting anything.
Nope.
And so yeah, it's the pacing is excellent, and just the amount of detail that they put in this book is just
They're
fascinating.
kind of telling the story somewhat inverted from the traditional golden era TMNT Volume 1. The idea, right, is like, the turtles are just doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything with the foot goes crazy. They burn down second time around, and then they're out in Northampton, and things slow down, and that's where you
Right.
get your chance. Everybody kind of like, even down to like Mikey and Casey working on on that truck.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems almost like they're intentionally going inverted.
Okay.
You're seeing life as it is. You're
Yeah.
seeing like you're in your Northampton like healing time almost.
Right.
Now these things are coming to interrupt that. Um,
Yeah, I can see that.
yeah,
And I
which
think
which 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 is just interesting.
it might play to my point too that I was just about to bring up, that this so far, and from what I remember reading about it, and now don't, you know, quote me on this. I'm just
I'm
drawing
gonna
from
quote
memory.
you.
Yeah, don't
The
quote me.
shit out of you.
Um,
I'm gonna quote
uh,
you.
uh, so I get the feeling that this book, especially this volume, is more of the turtles can fight, but that's not, they're not fighting. It's not a fight book. It's not a, it's
No,
just, I'm not sure if I'm articulating this the right way, but it's the things happen to the turtles, not like how in the animated series they have to go and fight things. It's just
they're not looking for trouble. It feels like now the beginning of the comic did open with them fighting the Manhattan militia.
right.
It feels like the militia were out there being such assholes that the turtles are like, Jesus, like let's go
Yeah.
clean these guys up. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel like they're on there every day there's a new crime and we have to go fight every single day, because they're just off duty. A lot of them are just different places. They don't know where the hell Mikey is. Like, and they don't seem to have any immediacy,
Yeah. Yeah,
which
exactly.
which I like, which I really like. Yeah.
Oh, totally. And yeah, it just has like this thing where like things happen and they have the ability to fight if they wanted to, but or if they need to, but that's not the purpose or whatever. And I don't know. I just really enjoy the pacing of this, and it's
Yeah.
got like a calm sort of demeanor, even though the major
It does.
things are happening, and
It
it's
does.
kind of nice. And I don't remember if I understood it when I read it back in the day, because I wasn't really sure to how to what I was looking for, or what, I was still relatively young, like in my 2002, so I would have been like 20 something. And
Yeah,
so
and you hadn't really been on this. Like, I'm not trying to say you weren't like a big Turtles fan, but like
oh no, sure,
you
sure.
hadn't been down and down in on like
Oh yeah, like all through
Mirage,
it.
Adventures, like the saga, like of
Right,
all this stuff, Image, like you hadn't really been in that in the passenger seat that whole time, because we were
right,
children when we're like damn near couldn't read when the turtles were created.
right, exactly.
So
So
it's I think it's different. And I know we talked about this before a lot on the show. I've always been fascinated by it, especially when we talked about the different eras of like Mirage versus Adventures,
mhm,
about being our age, being
yeah,
like adults when the TMNT dropped, and how some of them had to feel, right? Seeing like the animated series come out, and then it all become about Cowabunga Dude and
right,
all this stuff, and then finding yourself not loving Mirage because you didn't know what you were going to get every week, but
Yeah.
loving Adventures.
Right.
And then it's so funny we talk about that. Then we find that letter in Adventures saying, "I used to read Mirage, I now read you," and we're
Right.
like, "Holy shit, that's exactly what we were saying."
Yeah.
Like, and someone really felt that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. I think it. I could see where at the time, I don't know if if you would have been totally aware of what you were getting into here,
Right.
because of that.
Yeah. It I don't know, and I appreciated it for it, and I don't know if it's necessarily what I wanted at the time, but I could definitely
Sure.
appreciate the quality of work and all that.
You're like, this
But
ain't Deadpool.
right, exactly. And so, yeah, but though this is great, and I'm really interested to see who that character is that's with the
Oh, I
Utroms.
gotta know who that.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
because he seems like in their dialogue, he's telling him, the commander of the
mhm.
Utrom, you did everything you could do. You've done a great job. So you're like, I don't. It's weird. It's almost like they're working. I wouldn't say for him, but maybe
Like they're
with
just
him,
they're just together.
and
Yeah,
maybe, yeah, and maybe he's like directing them. It's not like like I'm your boss. It's more like I kind of know what I'm talking about, and
right.
and you're working with me, and like I can tell you did exactly what we needed to do. Like they're almost
Mhm.
teamed up, but he seems to know what he's doing.
Right. And then I'm definitely curious about the cover for the next issue, because I know M says I can tell you who it is right now. I'll be honest with you, I was already spoiled on it. So I know who that
Oh,
is. So and
well,
I hate
shut
it.
up.
I hate it. But I don't hate who it is. I just hate that I got spoiled
Okay,
on
well,
it.
we will just talk on the next issue.
Yeah.
Next
So
episode. So
right.
I mean,
But don't tell us, guys. Don't spoil
no,
us
don't
on
say it, don't
anything.
say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't say
But
it.
yeah. So what else was I gonna say? Oh, the character on the next issue. I'm very curious about them. I don't
Oh
know
yeah,
if they're Foot, because they kind of look like Foot,
it,
but that just could be
it
that.
looks like a villain,
Yeah.
and the fact that the turtles are all fighting kind of looks like they're opposed
Right.
to this character, but
Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious. It could be Karai. It could be what was the lady that was that I told you what her name was, and you were like, it was the Tin Holes um from Image. Do you
nine
remember
holes.
that? Nine Holes. That's what it
Yeah,
was. The Nine Holes, and you were not having it. You did not like
I
that.
was like, excuse. I was like, literally, excuse the fuck out of me. What were you saying? Yeah, no, that was not a lot.
So I'm
That
hoping
was
that,
too much for me.
that they come back potentially, but
Maybe
yeah, you never know. But yeah, well, we don't know what y'all think about this issue, so we want to know.
we'd
So
love to
if
hear it.
you want to let us know, you can email us at turtlesoupshow@gmail.com and
Hmm.
let us know what you've been thinking about these issues. Again, try not to spoil
Yeah,
anything, because that just keeps it fun. And yeah, let us know if you were collecting these, or if you were reading these, and what you thought at the time. If you were, we'd really love to hear that. And yeah, and anything else really. If you got any come out and fight that's, whatever you got, just throw it our way at turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. You can follow us on the socials. We're in Facebook and Instagram mostly, but yeah, we're doing all that. And then we are also on the home of the internet, turtlesoupshow.com, where you can find all our episodes. I believe I fixed the Spotify issue, so that should be up there. So if you can't find it, if you can't find it where you listen to podcasts, let me know, and I'll do what I can to try to make that happen for you. And yeah, and if you want to help contribute to keeping the show from saying clang, you can do that by throwing some pennies our way at patreon.com. I
absolutely.
finished all the magnets from 2 times ago. I'm playing catch up, y'all. So I'm trying to get there, but I haven't forgot about you. I got the shirts, and I got the other one designed, and so I got to print that. So it's a thing, but they're coming out, and we're hopefully. I would love to try to revamp the Patreon pretty soon, but who knows if that'll happen. But I would like to, and if y'all have any ideas about that, again, feel free to send us messages on Turtle Soup of things you'd like to see or hear, or what you might
Yeah,
think would be a cool thing
100%.
for us to do, because we'd love to do it. And then yeah, all right. Well, I think that's gonna do it for us tonight. So else
Absolutely.
time.
Else time.
And we're back.
Yeah, I love it. Em's like, I miss when Eric used to mail out CDs of the show with the homemade mixtape style labels. Man, those were the days.
Those were the days.
Do
Yeah.
you guys remember that story I told about how my first attempt at a podcast was just me talking. I knew nothing about how to put it online, so I just burned CDs of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the show had to be under 75 minutes because that's the
That's how
length of a
much
CD.
was it?
And I just burned it and gave it to people,
Yeah.
and they're like, "This is cool." I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's this podcast I'm trying to do," and they're like, "You
Uh,
gonna put that online?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
yeah,
I
maybe.
just like the idea that like if I had just never done Turtle Soup and I never moved past and I just burned CDs of my podcast and like you had to be on a mailing list to get it or something.
Oh
I was
yeah.
just like, every once in a while I think about like how old school could I have made my podcast?
Wasn't it a breakdown of every Radiohead record?
That was one. That was one episode.
Okay. Okay.
So
Because I
the
vaguely
main
remember
thing I was
that.
trying to do was I thought at first I was like before because I thought about starting a podcast with like friends and maybe or something. I really wanted to, but I didn't know how to. I wanted to see if I
Mm,
could hold a show by myself.
right.
Like if I could read the news or weird shit, or I could
Mm,
like talk about random shit
right.
enough to be like Jim Rome, who
Oh.
is like my like one of my broadcast heroes.
Okay.
Like the fact that he would do, I was very much into sports talk radio at the time. He would do like 3 hours every day,
Mm-hmm.
just him,
Yeah.
and he was really good at it.
Yeah.
I always wonder, I'm like, could I talk on my own for that long, or
Oh,
like
you absolutely
75
could.
minutes?
Oh.
And so what I did was I was like, okay, I'm going to record me. I'm gonna look up a bunch of like weird ass news articles and just make
Yeah.
fun of them.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, maybe I'll be like a news show, but I'll just like pick the weirdest news and I'll just like make fun of it. Then I was like, oh, you know what I could also do is like a sports thing where it's like basically like Final Four, like March Madness,
Okay.
but I just compared every Radiohead song to itself, like all of my favorite Radiohead songs to themselves to try
Yeah.
to figure out if I somehow in a head-to-head March Madness bracket could figure out my favorite Radiohead song.
Right. I remember that.
And I did that on a CD. And I think I gave that to you and Preston, I think.
I think Preston got it. I don't know that I did. I don't remember if I got it or
I
not, but I
remember
know Preston
Preston
did.
heard it
Preston
and
definitely
was
had it.
like talking to me about it. And I was like, yeah. And it's just so funny because I didn't have another way to go from there.
Right.
I just remember thinking, okay, like I can do it. And I think not much later, I started Tasteless Artcast around that time.
Yeah. I
Like,
have
because I was kind
distinct
of like, I can do it. So I'm going to start a podcast.
I have distinct memories of listening to Tasteless Artcast going to one of my jobs when we moved to a new building, and I was going up the stairs, and I just remember you saying something cracking me up. And I don't remember what it was, but I just definitely remember listening to that and be like, oh, that's too funny. That's too funny. I got to talk to y'all about that. And yeah, but man, that
Yeah.
was
That
ages
was my
ago now.
origin. That was a really long time ago.
It's
That was a really fucking long
insane.
time ago.
Um,
I remember where I was living. I wasn't living at Summer Cove. Maybe I was.
no, no. You
No,
you were living at the first
I was
house with
living
the
at like,
lake behind it. Um, that
yeah, that's Summer Cove.
is that Summer
That's
Cove?
like,
Is that where you were living
yeah,
with Jeremy and John and
yeah. We had all the
um
roommates and
yeah,
stuff, and
that's
yeah,
that's where you were when you were
that's
doing
where I
Tasteless
was
Artcast. Yeah.
when I did Taste of Sarcasm.
Yep.
I know Taste of Sarcasm carried over to that second house. I remember
Okay.
doing
Yeah.
I remember doing Taste of Sarcasm like sitting there with Cody like in that front room
I'm
of
almost
that bigger house.
positive that you definitely had it at the other house too. I'm almost positive.
I
But
yeah, I honestly may have. And then we started Turtle Soup. Uh
2012, 11.
so I think we didn't do the podcast in that house when we were still living there. We did the
Oh,
podcast in the house when we were all alone at night there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
like
That's
we
when we
were
started.
already living in our current house, but that
Because
house we were still trying to get fixed up for my parents to sell and stuff.
I started Turtle Soup with me trying to do me and Preston doing it,
Yes.
and it was
I,
horrible. It was
well, you
god
guys
awful.
decided to talk about the first movie when everyone and their mom was at your house. I
Oh,
don't know what you
I
were
didn't plan
thinking
that.
there.
I didn't plan everyone to show up, but for some reason that was the day that like a ton of people were like, "Hey, I got to come by and get
Hell,
something." I was
I
like, "Hey."
was there.
Yeah,
I don't have no idea why I
I,
was there because
I
some
don't
other
either.
like Preston's brother, one of your other friends, they hung out. I'm not going to start naming names. Those guys hung out a lot together,
Right.
and they stopped by the house. Why I was there, I don't know why.
I
Because
don't.
if I didn't really like drop by your house, because if I was there, I was King Triton, and I was dominating all of your time.
And if you're
Like
there,
like
there's no reason you're not involved. Like there's
there's no reason I
absolutely
wouldn't have been on it.
yeah, no reason at all.
But I have
So
distinct memories of looking through the front part, your little clear glass door,
yeah,
and looking through and seeing you guys had the recording table set up, like in that front room
yeah,
with the two mics on the end of this like white plastic table. I remember it clearly,
yeah,
hanging out with Preston's brother and that other friend
yeah,
outside while you guys were in there watching the movie and talking.
yeah.
I have distinct memories of being there, and I don't know why I was there, and I don't know why I wasn't involved.
Yeah, I don't either. But man, ages ago.
I do remember us having the conversation about turtle soup in the front driveway of that house,
Mm,
that second house, around my truck.
yeah.
Like we were like leaning. We used to sit outside and like lean against my truck bed and talk for like 100 years.
Oh yeah. Some of the best times of my
That's
life.
that's where turtle soup started.
Yeah. It's like, why don't we just record this? Why don't we're
I,
pretty
I
funny.
remember like it went from like why don't we just do this podcast, and like in that same conversation it ended with like a blood oath,
Mm-hmm.
and we were both like, we're not gonna stop.
Yeah.
And you were like, I'm not. You're like, I'm not gonna flake out. I'm like, I won't
Mm-mm.
flake out.
Yeah. And so here we
I
are.
remember we had to have that like look each other in the eye,
Yeah.
and you were very insistent. I remember you being like, I'm not gonna start a podcast and just have it die.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm your Huckleberry.
It's true. Yeah.
And look at us now.
Look at us now. Look at us now. Here we are.
We did make it.
A couple silver spoons. You know what I'm saying?
13 years of turtle soup in October,
Oh man. Yeah. That's wild.
2012.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 13 years in October.
Yeah. That is nuts.
Bro, we could have had a baby together the day turtle soup came out, and that kid be damn near 13.
we still could.
Shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got enough breast milk for that.
Oh well. Better. I got nothing. But
Better start pumping. I don't know what you gonna
yeah.
tell me.
No, it's funny how time works. Like I was looking at I found Shane and I were trying to my wife and I were trying to figure out like what shows we went to last year and stuff. So I made a list of all the shows, and then I was like, well, what shows did I go to the year before? And I started writing down all the shows I went to, and I found a website that has a lot of archives of shows. And I was like,
Oh,
oh,
shit.
cool. Let me do this and this and this. And then you start like going through your pictures and trying to find pictures of that you took at shows to remind
Of the
you or whatever.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, dang, like that was that many years ago, and it just doesn't feel like it. And then
No,
time is just super freaking weird. But
it is fucking weird.
but anyway, but what else is weird is naming this episode. And
Yep.
I've got one that you might like, and I think we can probably go with this unless we got anything else. But
Sure.
wait till you see my dad. Wait till you see my dad. Oh,
It's funny because it's her grandfather, but it's
Right.
I think where do you see my dad is funnier
it's funnier. That's
because
what
it's
I
like
went with.
Rat Dad, right?
Right.
That's what you're going for.
That's what I'm going for. Yes.
Where do you see my dad?
Rat retirement party. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Rat Tyrant's really good. Also, Wait Do You See My Dad is a callback to Wait Do You See My Tech.
It is. It is
from
ages
100 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm partial to that because I know that we love our self-referential podcast
all day.
titles. So
Absolutely.
like Colonel Booter can't be
the only bastion of that.
No.
But yeah. Wait till you see my dad. I went back and listened to that song. I was like, man, I wish I could do it differently. I would have done it differently now, but I'm like, no, it is what it is. And it is
what it is.
It was part of the time. That's just, you put it out and you just do it.
It was.
And yeah.
All right.
So I don't know. What you thinking? That's good.
Yeah. I'll do the number. You got to do the, because that's just that you brought that original recipe from your own your own mind, so it's on you.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
This is Turtle Soup, episode 334.
Wait till you see my dad.
You don't want to whisper it?
No. Oh! I should have whispered it. Oh, that's right.
That's a good old take. But
yeah, you're right. I gotta whisper it. But I still thought it was funny just doing it. Wait till you see my dad. And it's like,
I mean, honestly, like that's why we do multiple takes, man. When we do the edit, like
options,
freestyle your style. I'm not mad.
I'm gonna go with the last one no matter what. But it's nice to have the option.
Oh yeah, because it's at the end.
It's at the end. Easy. It's easier.
Yes, I got you, fam. Take my first rodeo.
No.
All right. This is Turtle Soup, episode 334.
Wait till you see my dad. Hey, bitch. Wait. that when he says that
it ought to be hey Jay.
Oh.
His name's Jay.
Let's
do another one where you say.
Yeah.
Jay.
Okay.
Wait till you see my dad. All right, you're ready.
Gotcha.
This is Turtle Soup, episode 334.
Wait till you see my dad. Hey, Jay. I like it.
I like it. I'm a fan.
Oh, man. For some reason, I thought you called me something that reminded me that a lot of the Gen Z kids that I say that weird, our employees that we have that work with us at the shop, at the cafe, they're really sweet, and I love them to death. But I found out that they call each other pimp, and these are just girls. These are just a bunch of teenage girls.
Okay.
And so I started calling them pimp. I was like, all right, smell you later, pimp. And then they started calling me that. And when Shannon fell, I had to message them, and I was like, hey, we're at the emergency room. Hey, I was like, hey, pimp, we're at the emergency room. And we're like, I still do it. And I was like thinking of all the times that it's like, I can't, I don't know. It's just, but like,
well, I just thought it would be, when you mentioned Shannon, I thought it'd be hilarious if like Shannon saw you around them at one point and they're all like, what up, pimp? Like all to you. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing with these girls where they're